It's definitely a bona fide way to get several people's anuses to just slam shut at the thought of
Hell
it.
yeah.
So
Yep.
They would close quicker than a
wonderful.
French guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Sure
why a
would.
French guillotine?
I mean,
The thought of
They
it.
pioneered it. They're the best at it.
Oh, okay.
all right. So I'm going to copy the URL, and you guys should be able to see it for yourselves.
Oh.
All right.
Did you
Are you
post
putting
it?
it?
Yes.
here we
There it is,
go.
yep.
Testing,
Let's
testing,
take a
1,
look.
2, 3. We seem to be all systems go. So, welcome to the Dead First Meet. This is episode 3. And joining me today are 3 fine young lads from the ethos of the internet.
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves. All right. Artacia, how about you start first? Order of operations here.
Oh, let's see. Where do I start? Well, I'm Artacia. I'm just a lowly voice actor. I say lowly because it's something that I've recently got into, fairly recently anyway. Still a small name in the industry, as it were. But I do a lot of side projects and such. The only real notable things I've done is I am the network announcer for Newsnet, and I've done voice work for Ferality. Of course, I've done some things for you too, Joe, and a few
Yes,
other
you have.
people as well. So, hoping to expand that over time and build up my portfolio to allow for some more examples for people to see. When I'm not doing that, which honestly is very often, I usually do PC gaming or board gaming. I tend to host things here weekly at our place here. I do data entry throughout the day for a telecommunications company, so that's always fun. I just work from home, so thankfully I don't have to go anywhere. I like to get in deep. I also like to get in deep in conversation, and yeah, Maxwell got
Yup.
that. Actually, probably everyone did. They're just like, oh my god. But I also enjoy coffee and a bit of a kind of a connoisseur in that regard. I say kind of because I don't know. It's not like I sampled like the beans of the world, but like I've gotten more involved in it than probably the average person has.
I don't know. When you say beans, that has a dual meaning here in the furry fandom.
Yeah, it does. I remember when they were just called paw pads, and that was that. But no, it's beans, beans, beans. Like, all right, okay, fine. Set that down, gingivitis. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, I guess that's kind of my deal there. So
No, I gotcha. I mean, when I asked you to introduce yourself, you could have just given us a little blurb. You didn't have to tell us your life story.
I
Nah,
mean,
kid.
there's a fair bit to me, so it's just can't keep it short and simple. You expect me to keep anything short and simple? No, it's out of the question.
Nah, I gotcha, man. Okay. So next on the roster is Cyberpimp. What can you tell us about yourself?
Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm the Cyber Pimp. Been around for a while, using this handle since like 2007, the golden days. Good old Halo 3, popping off on there. I've been in this little film shindig since its like creation, since its like first spark a couple of years ago. It's grown since then. Got a lot of go-getters, got a lot of tryhards, so everyone's pretty motivated. A little bit about myself, I'm good at turning wrenches, good at fixing stuff. I can run machines. I can fix anything from a broken heart to the crack of dawn, so be careful. You know, I'm a big, I guess you'd kind of say like extreme sports enthusiast. I like snowmobiling, or sledding for those that live up north. Uh, you know, I, anything from you know jet skis, dirt bikes, four wheelers. I'm really really big into that. Flat tracking. Want to get back into GNCC or Ironman pretty soon. Got a really mean KTM and a really mean Kawasaki. I got to put them back together and get them all jetted proper. But um, you know, I'm like a huge Motorhead, but I'm also like a really big nerd. You know, I love Magic the Gathering. Real big collector. I couldn't even tell you how many thousands of dollars in cards I, you know, blew my money on over the years. But you know, some of them I never opened. Some of them are, you know, gem mint. Majority of them, some of them are still hard case. They're still in packs, never opened. So um, that's my cup of tea right there. That's my bread and butter. But I like doing this film stuff. You know, I wanted into this podcast stuff pretty regular. It's a good time. Um, get to shoot the shit, and everybody gets to smoke and joke about the you know, hottest topics and ups and downs of whatever our you know, worldly experience is at the moment. So that's pretty cool. You know, I've known Tujo here for a long time. Um, pretty kick-ass individual. Not tooting his horn, not tooting my own horn, but you know, he calls it as he sees it, and I appreciate that, and I do the same. Um, cool. You know, I try to stream on Twitch pretty regular, but I've just been so busy fixing stuff and getting ready for the winter. Got to prep all my equipment for snow removal and probably like some emergency tree jobs whenever trees come down from like ice storms or like heavy snow. So that's what I've been doing today. So stay frosty.
Hmm.
Hell yeah. Thanks, man. And last but not least, got Maxwell Rogers.
Yes. Hi. I'm just a fox, yo, and
Swear to God, if that's all you say, I'm gonna come over there and just wring
No,
your neck.
no, he's actually the spokesperson for Maxwell House Coffee. You know, so you like coffee, Maxwell Rogers.
Max hated me for saying that all the time. I'd just be like, hey, and like I'd even ping him occasionally. I'd be like, Maxwell, and Maxwell would make like a little emoticon where he'd look at me and just be like, oh, like excited, like on the edge of his seat, waiting for me to say something like profound or emphatic. And then it's like house, and then he'd look all pissed off and just walk away.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't like to call myself a content creator because I'm not really, but I've had my own avatar and I made it since a decade ago and just kind of been making stuff here and there and it's kind of fun. So um yeah.
Oh, I got you, man. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and say that I've known these three individuals for quite a few years now, and each one of them has impressed upon me the ideals that they are true friends in every sense of the word. Sometimes it questions my, choices in life, momentary step back and just gotta be like, are these people I want to associate with? But, for the most part, I can be seen in public and not feel bad about myself. So you guys got that.
Thank you.
As for myself, you all should know me. I'm a wannabe film director for a while now. It's my passion project, and obviously, for whatever reason, ever since I sort of got into my head that I wanted to be like an internet detective, an internet sleuth, just been going through lots and lots of fucking drama and talking about it, and I would like to think I have decent memory. Sometimes I kind of have a hiccup here and there, but for the most part, I can at least have a solid tangible understanding of a situation and be able to regurgitate it to the enjoyment of people online. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
So I guess we might as well get started here after introductions are out of the way. I got quite a few topics of interest to share with you guys. I'm not sure what you'd like to hear about first, or if you had something to bring to the table, something interesting going on. So go ahead. What would you like to hear?
I personally don't have anything myself, so unless any of these two do, but
No, I was kind of hoping Tujo would have the ideas. Yeah, exactly.
How about you, Cyberfim? You got anything on your mind?
I don't know. I guess we're all like kind of like VR enthusiasts. I'm looking forward to whatever VR is soon to be announced. I'm not sure if that's a set topic, or I'm not sure if anybody has any input on that because I've been using the 2018 Vive now for a while. I got about 5,000 hours on that headset, and she's seen better days. She's held together with sports tape, zip ties, what is that, E6000 industrial adhesive, It's pretty good, pretty good. The left controller, left or right, depending on how you turn them on. But whatever one I use for my left hand predominantly, that one, I no longer have like, I guess they call it a trackpad or like D-pad functions. So that's pretty cool.
Dude,
But
that's some
Oh, yeah.
quality fucking American engineering right there. Just a couple like paper clips, some duct tape, some some sprees.
like the more shit I add to my VR headset, like pretty soon I'm gonna be looking like Pinhead meets Edward Scissorhands. Like,
Oh hell
just
yeah!
just gonna be crazy shit, like a Swiss Army knife of just random bullshit glued to my controllers. But
let me open that for you. There you go. It's just...
it's like, let me just, I have a new Amazon box. Gotta snip, 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 snip. But yeah, I'm looking for the I guess I'm kind of greedy, like not like the tradition, pardon me, but not the traditional like meaning of like greedy, but like I'm kind of like overly hopeful in the sense where I want an end all be all VR headset that I understand you're going to pay a lot, and I understand you can't have your cake and eat it too, but I really like the Vive. I like how Vive lasted me a really, really long time. And the only reason why I didn't get a Vive again is because they're discontinued. And right now, I paid $499 for it at Best Buy. Now, if I want a Vive, I'm paying $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 plus $1,200 for a Vive Pro. So does it justify spending $500 more for an identical headset? Not at all. And so
Right.
I was really looking at the Vive i Pro, but they discontinued that as well. So I really don't want to buy a second-hand Vive i Pro, for obvious reasons, like whole like Rona thing, and like I don't want to like have someone else's face sweat on me. I could sterilize a new face gasket and all that, but I would like to find another headset that does the eye tracking, but I would also like to find another headset that is readily adapted to you could adapt it to the Vive mouth tracking, because I want the eye tracking and the mouth tracking, or the for your facial gestures. I need that in one headset. If I'm gonna buy a brand new one, it's got to have both eye tracking and mouth tracking. The hands, I'll just get the index hands, I guess. I'm not really too concerned about that, but that's my biggest pet peeve right now. It's kind of like what I'm looking forward to. I don't know what December is going to bring. I got a little bit of coin put aside for just like, I could piss away on something VR related, but
Like fuck you
every
money.
day. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I love that term. Like I call it "fuck you money," or like I got some property, so and I'm gonna build a "fuck you" fence. And like, not getting off topic, but what a "fuck you" fence is it's a fence that is like 8 foot tall or higher that your neighbors cannot see through or over. And hey, I'm a firm believer in privacy. Like, I don't like being bothered. I like being left the fuck alone. So that's why I use that term a lot. And plus it starts with my favorite word in the English language, and that's fuck. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that new headset. I don't really care what games come out, because I'll just have more fun playing Boneworks, and trying to mess around the Neos with broken trackpads is borderline impossible. I can't do it. It's like playing chess in the dark. But that's what I had on my brain as far as like VR is concerned. Not sure if anybody has anything else for that.
No, I'm just me personally. I'm looking forward to the deck of gear, but I just remember how you're talking to us about how like you got a warranty out on that fucking Vive, and then they were just like, well, it reminded me of like Pawn Stars. You take your headset
Yep.
there, and it's just like, yeah, the best we could do is get you a Quest 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. Building on that warranty. So I bought the Vive brand new from I bought it from Best Buy, and I bought it with the extended super duper big boy ultra mega e-thought warranty from Geek Squad. The no questions asked, you can bring it back as long as it's not on fire. If it was on fire, they'll still cover you. The warranty is void if you enter the store when it's still on fire. But so I my shit started to break down like really heavily back, and this was I guess it started to take a shit around, what was that, March 2020. So like when COVID started to like hit hard. So because I got it in 2018, I had a 3-year warranty, or a 2-year warranty, then plus a 3 years. So it was 3 years total from one for a 1-year warranty out the gate, and then I bought 2 more years, so 3 years in total. So March 2020, a headset started to take a shit. Like I started noticing dead pixels. Whatever, I'm not sure how the eyes are set up in there, but my left eye would like fade out in and out, and then it started happening with both eyes, and then the controller started to go, and then one wouldn't charge proper. So I got everything in the box, and I called them up. They're like, "Oh yeah, hey, you can bring it on in, put everything in the box, no questions asked. We'll get you one off the shelf." Literally like 2 days before it was like whatever. I think it was like a Monday or some shit when the Rona happened, and I was gonna go there on a Wednesday or Thursday, and gonna make my way to Best Buy, and then the entire world came to a fucking standstill. Like Rona shut everything down, and I'm like, well, damn, I guess I'll just keep this broke ass headset. I'll make do. Well, then an entire year goes by. And I'm like, okay, I really want to warranty this headset. Call Best Buy again. They're like, no, we're still not accepting any in-store, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You had to go online, get a fucking number, the whole spiel. You had to go outside and wait, and then they would bring you your online order, and they're like, well, we're not really sure how we're going to take something that you wear on your face with this whole Rona thing. So they wouldn't even take my headset at first because it was like biohazard, you know what I mean? Like big, like they didn't even want to touch it because of like possible what do you call it when you pass something from one person to another? Contamination, but there's another word for it. I forget it. It'll come to me. But yeah, I go to warranty it out, and they turn me down. So like the warranty's valid, they refuse to take it because of Rona guidelines and rule sets. So I'm like, all right, cool. Then finally the guidelines got lifted. They lifted the guidelines 2 days after my 3-year warranty ran the fuck out.
Oh wow!
Wait, who's this dude? Sorry, I saw somebody in the comments that was just like, "No, Christian is Jesus Christ," which is one topic.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Yeah, seriously.
Hell yeah, dude. But yeah,
sorry.
they wouldn't. No, and it's good. It's good. They wouldn't warranty it out, and they said, "Hey, yeah, this is kind of a big inconvenience because we no longer because the Ronage like chip shortage and shit and everything fucked up." So they discontinued the 2018 Vive and 2019 Vive in like the in the days like right before everything opening back up. So they could not, like per policy, they could not give me a 1-for-1 swap, even though that's what the Best Buy and Geek Squad warranty said. If it's broken or if it's fucked up and there's hardware issues, software issues, something, it's not as described anymore. Swap it in, no questions asked, get a new one. And then I could have opted to pay for another extended warranty, which I was gonna do. But yeah, they wouldn't swap because they no longer made 2018 or 2019 Vives. And they wanted to sell me a Vive Pro or some shit, or like the super big boy Vive, which was like $1,200. So I would have had to pay another $700 or $600 out of pocket to get another Vive when I only paid $500 for it in the first place. And I'm like, so I technically never even got a warranty. That was pretty good. So
how much did you spend on that fucking warranty, by the way?
$300, and that covered the headset. It was like 3-year headset, 3 years on the headset, and then plus I also did the tracker pucks. So everything on that order was covered under the same warranty. I guess that's how they worked it in there with Geek Squad, because it was like one unit, like it was sold as a bundle. So yeah, that was fun. And they're like, well, we could give you the Quest 2.
Yeah, I would have told him fuck
And
off.
and they're like, yeah, we can give you the Quest. And I was like, And they're like, what about the Quest 2? And I was like, no. I was like, excuse me, Mr. Manager, sir, can you like come a little closer? And I was like, no.
You know what I would have loved? Like the way that you described that just now, what I'm imagining is like, how about, and like the guy's like grabbing like this cheap cardboard box behind him. It's like, how would you like the Quest? And then you're just shaking your head. So he gets out a Sharpie and he puts on like 2 at the end of the like, Quest on the box. It's like, how about a Quest 2? It's really just the same Quest.
It was bad, dude. And I even contacted HTC about this, and I was like, hey, I've been like a long time user, and I could probably dig up the email, but I was like, yeah, I've been a long time user of your headset. Like, yo, literally to wear something on your fucking face for 5,000 hours, and I'm like, yo, I'm a committed, customer. Like they could have at least been like, yo, we'll give you in-store credit, or yo, I would have been happy with 50% in-store credit toward like another Vive product, but they upcharged like even the Vive Pro. There's nothing that the Vive Pro does that the Vive 2018 model doesn't. You know what I mean? That you got a better camera. It's like I don't want no one to see my face. I keep my face pretty for my grandma. That's about it. That's why I wear a helmet and safety glasses to keep my face pretty. But
I'm sorry.
Yep.
No,
your one-liners are so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try, dude.
But go ahead. Finish your
They just wouldn't. Yeah, man, they just wouldn't. They wouldn't budge. And I was like, and I even asked, like, I was like, yo, can I like do like in-store credit? And they were like really hesitant about it because I was just gonna put it toward like a GPU. I was like, well, I guess the 3080s are coming out. I could get a GPU from Best Buy. They're like, nah, psych, homie, think again. They're all fucking gone. They never existed. The 30 series graphic cards were all a myth. Like, I imagine the 30 series graphic cards were like, it's like, you've been living in a dream world, Neo. And you blink again and you look at the 30 series card and it's just like it's a 16 Super. Like, you're like, what happened?
Well, you broke the illusion, and now the dream's gone, and now you gotta suffer with the rest of us.
It's like you're really dyslexic and like your eyeballs like rearrange all of the numbers and letters and shit. It looks like a 30 series card.
Damn, that would be painful.
But yeah, they wouldn't budge. So I'll probably be getting an index before Christmas or some shit just to have. But I'm really hoping. I'm holding out for like them to do like a secret release of something. Like, I don't care who makes it, but I need the eye tracking. I need the lip tracking.
Nah, I got you, dude.
For eating that booty, because I'd be like,
No, I'm just imagining. Like, see, I didn't tell you. Maxwell knows, but Arctasia, I didn't tell you. What happened is that Cyberpimp, like, he works pretty late, so like sometimes when he shows up, he's like dead from the neck up. So what happened one day is we were all hanging out at the fucking 7-Eleven. And this is in like a level in VR chat. It's not like we hung out in like real life. But anyway.
Yeah, no, we IRL met up at a random 7-Eleven somewhere in like the Korean Peninsula.
Yeah, man, it happens all the fucking time. He just passes out, like he's just dead tired, and it's like, all right, Cyberpimp, he's had a little bit too much fun for one night. He needs a relaxing
I cackled out early.
Yeah, and so like what happened was these two rambunctious furries, like they didn't sound cringy. Like some furries, they're rambunctious and they just sound cringy. They sound like 12-year-olds, but they're probably like 35. But they sound like they're 12. These two were just very excited and they ran in and they molested Cyberpimp while he was like, passed out on the floor, like in VR chat. And when they came out again, I couldn't even be angry. Like I apologize, Cyberpimp, because I had no idea what these guys were doing. But they ran in there, and when they came back out again, it's like, dude, I got a face full of his paws. And
they're like, man, those feet. And I was like, what the fuck? I think it was a Nargacuga model or something.
Yeah, you were in the Nargacuga model, and they just like came out and were just like all happy and like cheery about it. And I'm just like, oh no.
I imagine it was like a Jack and the Beanstalk moment where they went up to like the slumbering giant, like, my God, look at those big stompies.
Yeah, except applied to furries.
Like, my God, it's like I'm the luckiest man alive.
All right.
What surprise? I don't like do lines of cocaine that night. I don't know. Like honestly.
This
Hell
is
yeah,
also
yo.
why you don't like pass
No,
out in random worlds where.
I
Yeah,
just
no, you'll never
yeah.
see me do
Well,
that.
no,
in
I
Beard
followed you.
Chat.
You were supposed to keep me safe.
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting these two rambunctious furries to bust up in there and just be like, "Oh man," like it's like Herbert the pervert. It's like, "Oh God, Christmas came early," and just molesting you in your sleep.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I
Remember the
felt
whole thing. My feet are still numb.
it's got like the face imprint. It's been pressed so hard.
Oh God.
Oh,
When the foot's so good it steals your soul and it shows the face imprint.
Oh no!
I'll find that picture. It's a real thing.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we got a nice little icebreaker out of the way. I didn't want to jump into the drama like offhand, but okay, so I'm assuming that you three are vaguely aware of things going on in like the furry fandom, the internet at large. Things have been going on. Well, like so we might as well just jump into meat and potatoes and then move on from there because I got some internet at large drama and I got some like basic bitch furry drama. So
Yo, yeah. We got the meat and potatoes and then we got the beets and potatoes.
yeah, okay. So like basically, you're all familiar with Chris Chan, I'm sure by now, right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Artasia said yes, and Cyberpimp made some sort of like a sound of agreement, just like mm-hmm. How about you, Maxwell?
I know of Chris Chan, not of any of the new news, so to speak.
You know what's crazy is I actually saw them in real life like a couple years ago. Yeah.
Damn, how did you ever recover?
Yeah.
I mean, so like strangely enough, they actually look pretty healthy considering everything that like I'm aware of them. They looked worried though, like as hell. Like this was at a convention, so they were like,
knew.
yeah, they were like looking around like very furtively and like running along. And I remember at that convention, they like I wasn't there for the panel, but I saw like footage later. I'm like, yep, not surprised. They looked like they were worried, and I was tempted to go over there and just be like, hey, Christian, or I should say Christine, because they did trans thing like a couple years ago. But it's like, can I get a picture of you? And I made two realizations in that moment. I said to myself, one, I don't want to get within 5 feet of them because like the smell and the fact they'll try to hug or kiss me or something. Not exactly something I want to walk away from. Okay. Number two, I would have that on my phone. I don't necessarily want that on my phone. I want it somewhere in like a hard drive that you live in like a public park somewhere for somebody else to find.
Oh no, yeah, like it's like burying the Jumanji game.
Yeah.
It's like yep, not my problem. you put it in like a Goodwill.
Oh God! Imagine being the 12-year-old child that finds like pictures of Christian or like, the recorded like history. Okay, so the reason I mentioned Christian, you should all be sufficiently aware by now about what the developments are around them. But maybe you're not. Maybe you've been out and about and you don't have time for that sort of thing. So let's start from like I'm just starting by the arrangement of your like avatar pictures. We're gonna start with Artasia. What is your reaction when I say the word Christian? Like anything come to mind?
My ass is bleeding. I think that's a good start. I think
Oh
like
no.
I feel like it's almost like cybernetic jokes aside, since my character is one, I feel like honestly like it's like you just walked up to me and like hit control delete like without question, like just right there, and I'm just like oh what, and then my life flashes before my eyes, and then I'm awoken to being in a Starbucks for some reason.
Oh no.
Oh,
Kind of like when
man.
Bender from Futurama puts a magnet on his head.
yeah.
It's- but needless to say, it carries with it a given heft. I would say weight normally, but heft in this case, because like when you say heft, it really you feel it. Like it just comes out like, oh god,
Like
it's
saying
like
moist.
it's like a ball sack on your face. Like you don't just ignore that.
No. No. So, is that all that comes to mind when I say Christian?
Pretty much.
Yeah, the ass is bleeding part I can totally get, man.
Mhm. Yeah. That's probably all that really needed. But I'm not one to just keep it short and simple.
No, I mean, this is a podcast. You guys should be able, pretty comfortable talking about uncomfortable subjects. It's fine.
Absolutely.
All right, Sire Pimp, you're up.
Yeah, yeah, that's my reaction. Like, kind of like tongue in cheek, but more like you're just grimacing. Like if you like clench your teeth so hard, your teeth explode. That's my reaction.
Oh no.
It's like a grenade that goes off. Your
Yeah.
mouth.
Oh man, but like what started out as like memes and humor years ago. Like I play a lot of Magic the Gathering, so I'll use this example. Like it cascades. Like I could have never seen it like snowball affecting or like cascading into like the like I mean I guess I was kind of shocked. Like I didn't know they would do like incestual things with their I guess like elderly / geriatric / incapacitated, and I use those like terms like respectfully. Like I didn't think they could do that to like their own mom, like somebody else. Like that was kind of like really I don't know. I don't even know. Like I just don't want to live on this planet anymore. Like I'm hoping we could like colonize Mars or like asteroids or some shit like Gundam, and just dip out.
Contact Elon Musk, yo. He got you back. He got you, man.
But yeah, it was yeah, it started out as memes and just like I guess you said like kind of like a funny haha / like cringy internet like like what do you like false celebrity maybe, and then like it took like a turn for the absolute worst. So that's my reaction. Like I was just like, huh, wow, kind of surprised, but like really disgusted.
So that's the summary of your reaction. It's like
Yep.
It's
my
like
teeth still hurt.
I walk up to you and I'm like, "Hey, Cyber, you want to talk about something?" And you like look up from the paper and you're just like, "Hmm." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's about Christian." And you're just like, "Hmm." And you start.
And like you feel the room like get like 20 degrees warmer. You're like, what the fuck's going on? My forehead just starts steaming.
Yeah. At that point, you'd probably self-destruct. You'd just be like, "Nope."
Oh hell yeah! I self-destructed years ago. My body is a husk.
Damn. All right, Maxwell, you're up. What is your reaction when I say the word Christian?
Why? Just why?
When you say why, do you mean like the most recent news, or I should say semi-recent?
In general, it's like one of those rabbit holes you just don't want to even go near at all.
Like a black hole in space. You just but you're in the event horizon. You just can't back out now. You're in too deep.
Yeah. Basically.
Damn.
And somehow the more I learn, the less faith I have in humanity.
I think that's a pretty natural reaction if you take even a cursory glance at like Christian's life. I'll tell you what, like here's some context for me. This is why I know so much about Christian. I had a friend back in high school that was when we first learned of Christian, and it just sort of like snowballed from there. And here we have this autistic man-child that lives the life of a fantasy, and it's just kind of like, it's like, oh, I got Sonichu, and I got the like crystal gems, and I'm gonna fight Dr. Eggman. And what's bizarre is that the comic that he was making got him so much attention that the comic started to like become more about himself and his fantasy fulfillment than it was about the original character, Sonichu. And, it's just a blend of like Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's got Zap to the extreme.
Hell yeah, I'm Sonic the Hoochhag. It's a great value Sonic right there.
Sonic the Eggnog. Like, here's the thing. What's crazy to me is that, like, this whole mythos... Okay, so that whole mythos about the comic, I'll get to that later. I'll just try to give you a TLDR right now. What's crazy?
Hold up, wait, real quick.
Yeah, go
I don't
ahead.
know how the hell we planned this or what like cosmic force made this happen, but all of our profile pictures are looking at one another.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of are. I don't know about you, but I'm eyeing that fox on the
Oh,
bed,
shit.
and
Oh, no.
moving on. So anyway, like I was saying, like what's crazy is that Christian, he was just this creepy dude. Well, I would say like in public, he's kind of creepy. Like at first, my understanding of him was he was just a funny man child that was kind of like the village idiot. You kind of felt bad for him, but not really because he kind of puts himself out there and asks for it, you know. And more recently, because I was part of this Christery or bullshit or whatever you want to call it, a family friend actually like, and when I say family friend, he's like my father's age. Okay, so don't think like one of us. Think of like, you know, this old dude. We were having dinner the other night, and he's just like, so Tujo, you got anything to talk to me about? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm just reflecting. Like I was so shocked about everything that I learned. I was just like, you know, I was working on this video recently, and I was talking about this guy I've been aware of for a long time. And the more I told him that, like, eventually he's just like, you know, Tujo, you're part of the problem. You're part of this problem. And, like, I will admit, it is kind of a problem. That there's this overconsumption of vapid, useless entertainment out there. You know, and I'm not alone in this. Like, being well versed in all this stuff. Vapid consumption of this useless entertainment that's basically cheap thrills and cheap kicks that a lot of the internet right now are hopped up on, you know? And me personally, I consider it delivering the news. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but this is newsworthy insofar as people are interested to find out more about it. So, like, hey, Ginger Tail. And I consider it like, you know, sort of like a service. And it is partially to get views, but remember, I don't go looking for the drama. I try to find out about it on my own. Like, I don't go over to Maxwell and hit him up and shake him down and be like, Maxwell, what's the latest and greatest scoop? Fucking don't hold out on me, you goddamn fox. You better tell me the shit right now.
I'm just a fox. I don't know nothing.
I got a deadline to meet. Artasia's been breathing down my neck this whole week. He wants his scoop.
I want pictures of those beans by 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Like Artasia just briefly turns.
Because it's high noon.
I just like how fucking Artasia turns into like Michael Myers for a second. Just like anyway. He actually admonished me about the whole thing. He's like, you know, he considered Christian's life, the more I told him, to be a tragedy. And I'm like, you're absolutely goddamn right. It is a tragedy. It's a tragedy that somebody like that can have basically meandered throughout life and like extracted thousands upon thousands of dollars in government handouts to live the life of a man-child. On top of which, this isn't even including all the money that like trolls have like given Christian, mostly out of guilt. That's why I think where it comes from, you know. You know, the free like slush fund that Christian would receive. Here's the problem. If Maxwell was a wild fox right now and he came up to me and I gave him a sandwich, he's probably going to show up the next day expecting a sandwich. And if I don't give him a sandwich, he's going to bite me because I didn't give him a sandwich. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is that rather than be like thankful for what they receive, Maxwell, in this hypothetical situation, you're a wild animal, so. But like rather than be thankful for receiving the sandwich for free, you know, Max in this situation is a wild animal. They don't know any better. I'm not trying to say that Christian's an animal. Let's just be honest. Like anybody that does something like that, you're a fucking animal. But like that's just my breakdown of this whole situation, you know. Artasia, Cyber, if you aren't aware, Christian had sexual relations with their mother not too long ago. It was like at the end of July, going into August. And the only reason we know that is because a Nazi cult leader basically got them to reveal that information over like a Discord call and trusted a very mentally fragile girl that she was trying to manipulate into having sex with her, like have all that, you know? So, yeah, that happened. And my eyes were the size of dinner plates because I was like, never in a million years would I have expected Christian to have the audacity, let alone the depravity, to have sexual relations with her mother. So, yeah. What do you all think?
Yeah, I actually the only reason why I knew that is because of I was for a bit there watching some of the videos that you posted in regards to that. It's disturbing, sad, unfortunate. There's a lot of words I could use to describe it, and none of them are good. Um, but I guess it just goes to show the level of desperation, um, just how far gone as a person that they were to kind of get to that level. It's yeah, it's really unfortunate. Um, I don't think there's really much else I can say to it other than that.
No, that's
So
fair, dude. There's a lot of things that you can say right now. Um, I'll tell you what. My understanding of Christian shifted from him being this funny, goofy man-child. I stopped following them for a long time after they became out as trans and they started ranting about something called the dimensional merge. Um, we have all experienced the dimensional merge. It's called VR chat. Like
Oh hell yeah!
getting to
I
see.
thought the dimensional merge was when like you go to wipe, but the toilet paper is only like 1 ply.
shit.
You really get to know yourself.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Really get in touch with your inner self, don't you?
Yeah. This is a little bit different.
Oh no!
Well, like Christian, surprisingly, like when they were talking about the dimensional merge, see, you gotta understand the shock that came to me is that it had been years since I saw them, get basically raked over the coals by the trolls. So later on, what happens is
Trolls with the coals.
yeah, I mean it's crazy, but what they end up coming out as trans, and the internet's reaction at the time it was just mild amusement. It's like whatever. But what ends up happening is like they get hopped up on this idea that they're an internet goddess or something, that they are basically the goddess of like an Amiga or Commodore 64, and that someday you guys are going to be able to shake hands with fucking Batman. You're going to be able to like see Superman flying in the sky. But here's the thing about the dimensional merge. The dimensional merge was actually kind of dark if you think about it, because it would require like 50% of the Earth's population to just die. They just
Hell yeah!
die.
Thanos snap.
Yeah, they just die for some reason. I don't know where the death's coming from, but as the dimensions merge, they just die. So, there's 4 of us here. There's a 25% chance that each one of us could possibly die, or maybe I should say half the room. So that'd be like 2 of us at a time. So it's kind of going to be me dying and Cyberpimp dying and Artasia and Maxwell living, or the reverse, or maybe Maxwell and I live and Artasia and Cyberpimp die, or maybe Artasia and Cyberpimp live. I don't know. But people would have to die, but like the people that survive get to become their fictional characters for some reason. Like that was the core of the mythos. But
It's like the Rapture, but like wholesome.
how is that wholesome? 50% of people are dying.
Okay, hear me out. Half the world's population gone, but you get to become Superman. Yo, sign me to fuck up. Like, that's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay, Artasia, how bad do you want to be your fictional character? Like,
Not at all. Because let me tell you, first of all, that's a lot of shampoo.
you're not wrong.
Just shave a lot, yo.
It's way too much. I don't look like a goddamn poodle. Anyway, it's just yeah, it would just be too much. I'd have to worry about the drains clogging all the time because again, that's kind of all self-encompassing.
Wait, can you install a garbage disposal on your shower?
They might have to consider that. Yeah, I think that'd be a good way to defeat that problem.
Just waffle stomp it down the drain, yo.
Don't get me. It would be a cool concept, but in practicality, there's really none. So
I'm just like thinking like this, like if somehow furries became like a predominant like presence. I'm not saying the majority, but like significant enough that some alterations would have to be made to like everyday society.
mhm.
Your shower would have to be installed with like industrial sized air dryers, so that when you
Right.
walk out of the shower in the morning, you're not sitting there like for like an hour waiting for yourself to dry. It's just like boom, and it's like the size of a turbojet. That'd be a lot of money. And then you'd have to be spending like hundreds of dollars on Head and Shoulders or some shit like that. So
Yeah.
you know damn well some furries out there are gonna flake. You know damn well,
Oh yeah.
if not molt. But anyway, the dimensional merge was a fixation on Chris Chan's life for a while, and the reason I mentioned that is because he kept talking about it. 50% of their videos were like begging videos. So it's like if like somehow you see my channel right now, at least like half to 70% of the videos I release are me begging for money. You guys probably wouldn't respect me as much as like you do now. I mean, what little you do, you know?
True.
Yeah, you ite.
Like I don't know. Like that's just I'm questioning. And the worst part about it is like trolls would just throw money at Christian without Christian really doing much. Like they were given like thousands of dollars to continue Sonichu, and Christian would be like, I'm not inspired. I have to be happy when I want to draw stuff, and they would just use that as an excuse to play video games all day. And
Oh.
it's almost as if I know more Christians than just Christian in my everyday life. But
Dun dun dun.
Deep down inside.
deep down inside, well, don't worry. Like you guys can hit rock bottom in your lives, and you'll still be like better than where Christian was or is right now. But anyway, no. What's crazy is that the whole situation around Christian is like they obviously been arrested. Ethan Ralph decided to live stream the whole thing. I'm just like, how the fuck did these people know where Christian was going to be and where the cops were going to be? Like, do you think one of them had like a radio scanner, like a police scanner?
Oh yeah.
I had the opportunity to buy a police scanner. I wish I took him up on that offer. Now, the only reason I'm revealing this now is because I didn't, but I kind of wish it did.
Wait, they're not illegal, are they?
Not necessarily, but it's like sus if you try to buy
I think only
one.
if you use them in a vehicle.
No. Well, yeah, that's questionable, but no, the people like where I was going to college at, they would use that shit as like cheap entertainment because they had nothing better to do.
A Florida man.
Florida man.
Yeah, exactly. You kidding?
So you wouldn't know this, but Christian, they're not mentally all there. Let's be honest. Like that, we can probably agree upon, right? Like they've been pretty far gone for a long time now. They got into contact with a girl by Isabella Loretta Janke, or ILJ if you prefer, or the Shrimmer Doomer. I call her the Shrimmer Doomer because she's basically a walking mushroom. She lets fungal infections grow in her body because it's sexual proclivity of some sort. I don't know.
Not good.
No. I think, Max, you were asking me the other day, like I had a skunk avatar and you're just like, Tujo, I want you to answer me something. Why the fuck are more and more people into fart fetishes? I'm like, I don't have an answer for you because this one just sprouts out rainbows.
And dear Lord.
Yeah.
You're going to hell.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not going to get into it, but it all started with cake fart, and now it's just
God.
worse.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And it's not just furries, dude. Like the perception that I have in my mind is that furries are the progenitors of like fucked up fetishes, but no, it's from the overall population. This is not an isolated incident. This is endemic. But anyway. Shrimmer Doomer girl, she's been in contact with Christian for at least, I would estimate and guesstimate a year. I can confirm at least 6 months to a year. But, she tried to elicit Christian's trust and would try to, like, foster rapport with them. And they acted like they were actually Christian's friend, when in reality they were trying to get as much information about them as possible. And if you know anything about Christian's life, he's fairly gullible. I refuse to acknowledge their pronouns because, in their own words, they became trans because they wanted to get China. That's a euphemism for vagina. Like, pussy. They wanted,
Oh no.
They wanted a boyfriend-free girl, or a girlfriend-free girl, because they started going after lesbians, and they thought, hey, I'm going to be trans, and I'm going to go after girls, and I'm going to get girls, because that's how it's going to work, right?
Dear Lord.
Yeah. Their love quest has not been fulfilled. You'll be happy to know.
That's like trying to like stack the deck, but it's still in the box. You never even shuffled.
You're not wrong.
That's a fair analogy.
Yeah. So anyway, ILJ has been talking to them for like 6 months to a year, and it's not until like July that Christian really starts to, at least in her own words, like, and bear in mind, there's this guy called Null. He runs Kiwi Farms. He's like the head honcho there. I don't know if he's a good person, but I can't.
Null or null?
Null, like the mathematical sign for like nothing, like null.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
NULL.
Yeah.
Oh, null, like
Yeah.
null void. Okay.
Yes. So Null was like, as the head of the Kiwi Farms, he's been supporting Christian using like GoFundMe money and Patreon money because, I would say that at least like maybe he's not a good person, like not like, Zangief sort of looking at himself in Wreck-It Ralph and just being like, Zangief, you crush people's heads like a sparrow's egg, but you're not a bad guy. You're a bad guy.
Just because you're a bad guy does not mean you're a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what Null's like. So because I've actually listened to some of his YouTube videos to try to get an assessment on the guy. His mode of character, I wouldn't say he's like a good person, but he's not necessarily like the worst person out there. He's not like
Kind of like an anti-hero.
Yeah. So Null's like he was supporting Christian for a while until Christian started lying to him, and then revealed that, hey, like, he had lied. Basically, what he was telling Null is that, like, this is Christian. What he was telling Null is that I've been going out with this older lady. She's in her 50s, and she's an accountant, and, she really liked, Captain Kirk back in the 60s, and yada, yada, yada. And they got a son. And, like, all of these, it's weird, because Christian is terrible at being subtle, Like, all of these same, like, facts were corresponded to Barb, or Barbara, if you want, Christian's mother. So anyway, Nazi cult leader girl, she has a nefarious plan in motion. You know what she wants out of Christian? Go ahead, guess.
What?
Go ahead, guess. I want to hear you guys like pontificate about this.
She wants to date him?
I don't know, man. I just work here.
Good answer,
Ditto.
Arcacia. Cyberpimp, you got anything for us?
Is this like kind of those like one of those people where they like infiltrate someone's like emotions and try to get into like their everyday thoughts and coerce them into committing suicide?
Wow, dead on the door nail. Although
Damn.
Maxwell was like half right, except reverse it, because Christian was interested in Isabella. Isabella was interested in this girl named Fiona, and Fiona was madly in love with Christian, was willing to fuck him.
What are you doing in my swamp?
And what's shocking is like Fiona was actually moderately attractive and was really interested in Christian. Basically everything that Christian has been looking for his whole life was in Fiona, but he had no interest for some reason. He wanted Isabella, and Isabella wanted to fuck Fiona because she's lesbian. She wanted nothing to do with Chris, but she wanted something out of Chris. She basically wanted to, and like what's crazy is that she actually comes from like a rich background. Like her father's Navy SEAL or ex-Navy SEAL, and her mother was Secret Service and went on to do. She's like a pilot right now. But somebody coming from such a like affluent background, wanting to fuck with Christian's life because she wants to become Queen of the Trolls. She wanted to become Queen of the Trolls by getting Christian to commit suicide. That was her end goal. She thought that by blackmailing Chris with all that material, she'd be able to, like, emotionally manipulate them into committing suicide.
Damn. Shoddy be trifling. She must be from Dirty Docks.
I don't know. She's got some fucked up issues, dude. She's like... The more I learned about her, the more I can just say that she's like... She'll be responsible for the hamster holocaust. Like, if there ever comes a day where hamsters die in droves, I'm gonna, like, point the finger at her.
Oh, no.
So, like, she liked killing hamsters for some reason. Like, basically her whole cult... I made the argument that a cult doesn't really exist unless it, does things like a religious belief or religious mantra. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there has to be some sort of religiosity or a core tenet of beliefs that you confide in. It's usually around a charismatic figure. And, like, basically that whole cult that she was running was masquerading on a Discord server as, like, the chess club for that school that she was going to, Texas Tech University. They weren't doing chess, by the way. You know, like, if you guys were wondering. Nah. They were basically targeting people like minorities and gays and, like, trans people. She was at least successful with one student, like, driving them over the edge to suicide. Like, she succeeded in at least one case.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
I mean, so here's the thing. People try to argue with me about how, like, she's not culpable. Like, they were already almost going to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't help. If Maxwell, if you're drowning right now, it wouldn't help if I handed you a glass of water, you know? Like, did
Probably
nothing
not,
to,
no.
like, did nothing to help you. Just was like, here you go. Here's some water. She, like, I consider her just as guilty, like, pushing somebody over the edge. So, yeah. She's running scared right now. She got the services of a lawyer. Probably going to fight in court, try to get all the threads about her removed, maybe go after me. Her father commented on my channel briefly and said, basically defending his sweet little girl as a sweet little girl, that anybody besmirching her good name will face legal repercussions. I know that to be the truth.
They can't go after me. I'm not real. All these voices and all these words and everything that I say is generated by an AI.
That's impressive. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, why be a simp when you can be a pimp?
Dab dab.
All right. So all this is happening, all right? Chris Chan, by this point, has been arrested, and Null actually gave his exposition about how he was feeling and what he actually did, because at first he was going to give Chris Chan a bunch of money, like, to at least get on his feet, get a place to stay, because the police came, they took Barbara away for a welfare check, long overdue, if you ask me, and, Chris Chan is, like, given an order. It's like, hey, do not return back to these premises until August 15th, okay? And Chris Chan is an idiot because they start talking to Isabella Jenke again, the same girl I just told you, Shrimmer Doomer. And when Null found out about all of this, because people were trying to say Null was at fault, when Null, like, confronted Chris Chan about this, and he's like, yo, Chris Chan actually defended Isabella Jenke, and it was at that point that, in light of all the lying, all the lies, all the deception, he made a conclusion that most of us had already realized years ago. That Chris Chan is too stupid to be helped, all right? They don't learn from their own mistakes at all. It was at that point that Null was just like, I'm done. Blocked Chris Chan, cut the cord. Returned all the GoFundMe money to everybody that needed it. Bear in mind, Chris Chan, like, stole $700 from his own mother. And you know what Chris Chan did with that money? You'll never guess. No, go ahead, everybody. I want some participation here. I don't want to steal the show.
Hookers and blow. Obviously not, but
I would have had slightly more respect for him if he did that. Slightly more.
I don't know. Paid for, like, ASMR.
What the fuck's ASMR?
This is ASMR.
I mean,
Here too, Joe. Here, this is ASMR. All right, here it is. We got this coffee here. Maxwell, Maxwell House, Maxwell Rogers.
all right,
There we are. That's how you drink coffee.
Max, you got anything for us?
I
Looking on your
honestly,
on the list here. Let's take a look at that, shall we?
yeah.
No.
Actually, what?
I couldn't even take a guess, man.
Nah, it's fine. Okay. Christian alluded to this when he was talking to Null, and basically was just like, "Hey, the mall. It's going to be a couple hours before the mall opens." Now, bear in mind they're currently homeless. They have like maybe negative $200 to their name. But they got all this money from their mother, which broke the agreement between him and the police. That he was not to get engaged in contact with his mother at all, in any way, shape, or form. He broke that by stealing $700. And when Null like basically asks like Christian, like, where did this fucking money come from? It's like, oh, well, these were the good blessings and good graces of God that came into my bank account. And it's like, no, you stole from your fucking mother, dude. Because Null had access to all of his emails because Christian just kind of was using Null as sort of like a fake secretary sort of thing. So Null had access to everything, and he confronts Christian about it. Some very basic questions that Christian can't even answer honestly because they're a compulsive liar. I mean, who would have thought it? Christian blew that $700 within a day, like less than a day, like 5 hours. I don't know what they bought. I'm going to assume it pertained to like Legos, My Little Pony action figures, and Switch games.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn, I was gonna mention Legos too.
Well, you know, when you get sent to jail, you know what's really important? Like, guys, this is deeply important to me, okay? If I get sent up shit creek, I want you guys to make sure that my Legos back home do not fall in the wrong hands, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So like
Absolutely.
So like Maxwell, you damn well better secure those goddamn Legos, man. Like, make sure that none of the old cast gets to it, that Ashy Paws doesn't get to it, that nobody gets to it. All right?
But Ashy Paw loves Legos.
No.
You better keep him away from that.
Oh no!
Fucking A, man. Like, I'm not getting sent up shit creek to prison just for like you to give away all my Legos. I'm foreshadowing. So it's like Christian, he gets arrested, obviously. I mean, it's been live streamed. Everybody knows it. Everybody was shocked. I'm not sure why they were shocked, because Christian was eventually going to do something stupid enough to get arrested, but it happened. And my only reaction as I was watching the live stream, I was just like shaking my head, like slowly to myself. I'm like, come on. It was going to happen eventually. You guys know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, this is the same person that ran over somebody, switched out places with her mom. She ran over the same dude they just ran over.
What the fuck?
Yeah. All right, let's do
That's
some.
awesome though. That's like some Jay and Silent Bob shit.
I like how that's your only reaction. You're like, that's awesome, dude.
It's like, yo, mom, yo, you gotta drive. Proceeds to run the person over.
Okay, so years
Wow.
like let's do a little time travel. All right, we're going back in time, guys.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, so like
Ba-da-ba.
back in the day, what happened was Christian would like to frequent this place called the Game Place. It was kind of like a games workshop, but private. So like that was their central hangout. That's where they could be them and socialize with people. Although, how do I put this? Christian has never really been good around people in public. I know that's very surprising. It's like
Gasp.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of waiting for a reaction of some kind, but
Well, that's what you get. Yeah.
yeah, I'll take it. All right, so because like the only thing I know about Christian being at this game place is that they would constantly hog all the consoles. They were constantly yelling at kids. They had an unwarranted sense of self-importance for some reason. Like they wanted to be a Pokemon gym coach, or gym leader, I should say.
To be a Pokemon master is my destiny. Yo, if if Freddie Mercury was still alive, I would be absolutely blessed if he sang a cover of "Gotta Catch 'Em All."
If only. Would you be gay for him?
Always.
All right.
No one has a mustache that glorious.
No, I guess not. So anyway, Christian, he was constantly he was borderline. Okay, he wasn't borderline. He was absolutely racist. He was racist, sexist, misogynistic, whole nine yards. Like they would always act like African American kids were trying to steal his Pokemon cards from him. So like anytime he played games with them, he would be all like making. He wouldn't like overtly come out and say like racist jokes unless he was out in public, but he would be pushing.
So it's okay in public.
I didn't say it was okay in public. I was just saying that he would do it in public.
No,
Hey,
that's
Les.
their mentality.
Hey, Last Slice. Well, you gotta understand. He's like in.
Yo, it's the last slice.
Yeah, he's the last slice of pizza.
No, that's the last slice.
So
They're the patron and queen of the Surgs.
No, I got you, man. No, I was gonna say was like there was one time that he basically said, "I'm gonna smack your ass," and like he said it to this African American kid that was like twice as big as him. So all the kid does is just get up, and Christian has to like fumble. It's like, I meant slap your fucking Pokemon's ass, and like he plays a card, and it's just like.
Wait, what, is there a recording of this? Like this happened in the tournament, like a sanctioned game?
No, it wasn't a tournament. It was just a regular game, but he kept doing shit like that. Anyway, so like the reason I'm telling you all this context is that there's a particular individual that was a manager at the time called Michael Schneider. And Mike was the manager. He was getting increasingly worn out by Christian because he constantly had to tell Christian, don't be doing that, don't be doing that, don't be doing that. And eventually, like, Mike has had enough, Like, he's just like, okay, that's it. You're banned. Like, get out. You're out of here. And for years after that, Christian would constantly go back to that game place. And he would wait a couple months to a year and go up to Michael Schneider. Now, you have to bear in mind, like, this is years down the road. This is well beyond the realm of Christian, like, being considered normal. Like, normal clientele for that sort of place. He's, like, in his late 20s at this point. You know what I mean? And the game place is designed for kids, It's kind of creepy. But he goes over there, and he would, like... There's actually a recording of this that Christian posted for whatever reason. And it was recorded on his 3DS, so it's just like... he goes up to Michael Schneider, and you can hear in the video, like, or I should say, it is a video, but you can't really see anything, it's just the audio, and it's like, hey, Mike, like, you seem to be doing well. You seem to have lost a lot of weight. I mean, you're looking pretty well. So, can you unban me? And like before Christian can even finish the sentence, you just hear Mike is like, no, you need to leave. Like, you need to leave. And it's like, oh, come on, Miss Schneider. Like, it's been a whole year. No, you need to leave. I'm gonna call the cops. And it's like, all right, I'll leave, Mr. Schneider, but I hope God in heaven can forgive you for your cruelty today. And as he's leaving, you hear that stereotypical, like, ding, like when you leave an Asian store. And, like, when you hear the ding, you just hear him being like, Jew, as he's leaving the store. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like, Christian would constantly do stuff like that. All right, so it builds to a head one day, all right? Christian, takes his mom, because usually he would just go by himself, His parents, ironically, were convinced that Michael Schneider was responsible for all the trolling that was happening online. Like, dead convinced. It got to the point where a troll actually called the Christian household, acting like an employee, and just being like, excuse me, Mr. Chandler, your son's been coming around our store, and we just wanted to ask that if you could have a talk with him and say, like, to not come here anymore. He's not allowed on the premises. And I actually have a lot of respect for Bob. Bob Chandler, Christian's father.
Bob Burgers?
No, Bob the Internet Lumberjack. He's going to chop your internet down. He's gonna go to Maxwell's house and chop his internet down. He's cutting it
Yeah,
down.
don't worry, Spectrum's doing that already.
Oh, yeah.
No.
But like he's actually like yeah, this fellow by the name of Mike, he's been persecuting my son for years. Probably lives up the way from me. He kind of talks like Cyberpimp does if he was like 25 years older. Cyberpimp.
Damn.
Not a kid. But
Back in my day, with sticks and a rock.
I mean, let's be honest, Cyber, you're gonna like when you get to be like middle aged to like your 50s, you're gonna be like Hank Hill.
Yo, all these kids with their newfangled technology and them smarty pants phones with their snap a dickin' and their face assing and whatever else they doing.
No, I'm convinced that you're gonna be like Hank Hill when you grow up, like older than that.
Oh yeah. I sell caterpillars and caterpillar accessories.
Oh my god, that worked so well.
Even better. But anyway, so like it's found out through the trolls that like Christian, his parents are convinced that everybody in the town is like engaged in a conspiracy against Christian. It's all been spearheaded by Michael Schneider, which is not the case, but you know, that's what his parents believed. And it got to the point, like, Christian's mother is not exactly a good influence, okay? Like, she was emotionally abusive, and she had a very hands-on approach to problems. I'm assuming that's why she ran Michael Schneider over. But Christian goes one day, and he goes in there, and he's trying to... His story to the police is that he's trying to get a picture of Michael Schneider to put on his dartboard. Which, okay, whatever. But Michael Schneider was pissed the fuck off. He was fucking pissed because his daughter was with him that day, and Christian was taking pictures of both of them. So Christian comes in, snaps some pictures on a 3DS. I don't know why. The resolution would be horrible, but he runs out. And, like, Michael Schneider, he's just like...
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you can.
What kind of witchcraft is this?
Yeah, they're really bad, quality pictures, but you can do it. Michael Schneider was just, like, not having it. He's just like, okay, this ends here today. He runs out the door and blocks their minivan from like leaving. And there's actually a picture floating around out like on the internet where you can actually see Michael Schneider. You see this pissed off 50-year-old dude with his like he's got like a glorious like George Lucas-esque like beard and like white hair and also like is wearing glasses. And he just looks very unimpressed. He doesn't even look pissed off in that picture. He just looks very unimpressed with Christian. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Anyway, so there's two different versions of the story here. It's kind of like a new Pokemon game, right? Like, you guys like Pokemon. It's like Pokemon Red, Blue, Crystal, or Diamond, or, you know, Black and White, Gold or Silver. So Christian's story, when, like, the cops come to arrest him, is that, like, you know, they didn't hit, like, Michael Schneider at all. That Mike Schneider... He was about to call for help, but Michael Schneider started throwing himself down on the car and scraping his shins up against the curb. Yeah.
That's when you just start shouting bees. There's bees everywhere, and then no one will come near you. Oh, officer, get the fuck back. There's bees everywhere. Ah! Dude, that cop's gonna be like, holy shit, dude. Fucking, I'm trying to get stung by no bees.
But, so yeah, like, consider that the fantasy version of, like, events here, right? I mean, that's not really real. So what ends up happening is that, like, what Michael Schneider told the police is that Christian basically gunned it, ran him over, and while he's reeling on the ground, he heard the car door open, Chris switched places with his mom. His mom backed over the dude, and they both drove off.
What the fuck? I love it.
It's just, it's like, see, if, like, Michael Schneider did not die, by the way. So, like, that's why we can laugh about it now. All right. He survived. He took the Chandlers to court. He eventually dropped all charges because, you know, he figured, okay, what am I going to get out of this? I got an 80-year-old woman and her autistic stepchild, or autistic child. What am I going to
There's got to be some sort of monetary gain, dude.
Well, I mean, if Christian stopped wasting thousands of, like, taxpayer dollars on fucking DLCs that he's never going to even play, maybe.
Yo, I take that as a personal insult. Thank you very much.
I don't know, man.
It's
Christian
all about
had...
those battle packs, dude. Battle.
Yeah, but he's not even playing the DLC. He's just buying it to support the company, which...
Oh no, I don't do that.
Well, okay, Christian had a weird idea. He was like... He has like a very weird obsession with brand loyalty. Like, do you guys have any brands for any product that you're comfortable sharing with the rest of the chat that come to mind?
Oh,
Of like any product.
Vive.
Yeah, but the Vive kind of fucked you over.
They took my heart and threw it in the mud.
Yeah, exactly. All right, how about you, Maxwell?
Not really, honestly.
Okay. How about you, Arctacia? You been kind
EVGA.
Evka.
EA Sports.
Yeah, eat ass games. Because every time I see that fucking logo, I'm just like, oh, you want me to eat ass? No thanks. Fuck off.
Hell yeah, yo.
Western Digital.
Okay,
Yep.
I can, like good hard drives,
Mm-hmm.
good solid state hard drives.
Yo, yeah, like Samsung, they make really good hard drives, and then they make those auto turrets that shoot stuff that looks like human beings.
Damn,
It's a real thing.
you just had to go
Tucho,
there.
you'd like that. They're made in Korea.
Oh man. Okay. So anyway, like, all right. So Christian, like Bob Chandler, Bob is Christian's father, if you don't know, and he was actually a pretty decent parent before he became kind of neglectful. But he was one of the only positive influences in Christian's life. Like, none of the bullshits that's happening today would have ever happened if Bob was still alive.
Damn.
And like the worst thing about it is like the trolls actually ended up gaining a lot of respect for Bob. They
We
would
need
actually,
to F in chat for Bob.
yeah. Press F in chat for Bob.
It will not let me. I'm trying to F.
That's okay. I'll put an F down for
There
us.
it is.
But
Dude, it won't let me do it, dude. I tried.
no, I'm sorry, man. But no, like seriously, Bob, he was like the sort of mythic figure. He was kind of like a stereotypical 1950s dad. Though, did I tell you? Like both of Christian's parents had Chris when they were very old, like in their 40s to 50s. That's kind of old
Damn.
to be having a kid.
Yeah, you're all like dry.
I like how that's where your mind instantly drifts to. It's like you're all like dry, old, full of mold.
It's like, how you gonna feed that kid? They didn't ask for powdered milk.
Thank you, Cyber Pimp, for putting that very unpleasant image in my mind.
That baby be like, water.
That's terrible. You should be ashamed.
I am
It's
every
probably
day.
powdered milk. I don't know.
It is, yeah. You gotta find those G milfs, yo. Oh, no. Or a really, really old cow, like ancient old.
Featured.
All right, moving on from that.
Yes. Please.
Bob had a very old-fashioned way of thinking things. Like when Christian was like developing as a child, they were diagnosed with autism, and people didn't really understand autism back then. And they tried to get Christian placed in a special school, which I'm not sure how much it would have helped him, to be honest with you. Like, given what he had to deal with at home. Emotionally abusive parents that were hoarders. I don't know how
Damn.
you guys feel about hoarding. Like, have you known a hoarder?
No, luckily.
Yeah, I do. I do building demolition and house cleanouts on the side, and my God, some of the houses I go in. Don't get me wrong, I find a lot of good shit, but there's a lot of good shit. Like,
I mean, the way that you said
I'm
that...
like, do
Go
you
ahead.
really need 5,000 coffee filters?
Yes! I drink coffee like a fucking fish. Don't judge
I
me
don't
on
even
my
think I'm
lifestyle.
going to be around in 5,000 days.
Arctasia's judging me about my choice in lifestyle.
Yeah, of course. Comes with the territory.
And Maxwell's silently judging me. He's not going to
No,
say
I
anything.
use all 5,000 coffee filters in one go. I want my coffee to be extra filtered.
Actually, speaking of coffee, that's how Christian burned his own house down, right?
What?
Is that why coffee pots are classified as hot plates and a fire hazard now?
Partially, but it was more had to do with the fact that he had an extension cable that he kept fucking raking over like the door. So as in, like, he kept it in the bathroom for some reason because the house was so unlivable at that point that,
What the fuck?
like, for instance, what's crazy is that there's actually a game I played a long time ago that was basically modeled after Earthbound, but they replaced all the imagery with like Christian and like his household and stuff.
Oh, wait.
And,
Idea.
And
I challenge everyone that makes maps in VR chat to make Chris Chan's house in VR.
Dude, I feel
Yes,
comfortable
dude.
to be even.
I'll go on Reddit right now and I'll start a subreddit. Chris Chan in VR. I'll do it.
Dude, there's a Christian model already. It looks cursed as fuck.
Nah, it's blessed.
As it should.
That is a saint. How dare you talk back?
Okay, fine. You know, Cyberpimp, if you somehow convince somebody to build Christian's house in VR, I will only show up there, like, as in, before we leave from wherever we're coming from, I'm only going to show up there in a hazmat suit. I'll be like one of those...
And outside, there will be, like, commemorative Molotov cocktails.
Oh, no!
Like for Forrest Gump, when Jenny starts throwing rocks at her old house? Yeah, like that, but when,
Christ.
you know, Molotovs.
Okay. Well, Christian kept... They kept a coffee, like, fucking maker in the bathroom for some reason, and they had an extension cable, because I guess the wiring was, like, not sufficient inside the bathroom itself. And what ended up happening is... Oh, hey, Bad Bessie. What happened is, like, every time that he closed the door, the wire would get, like, more and more worn out. And eventually, they just kind of left the coffee maker on and left, and they come back, and the house is on fire. Shocker, right? I'm guessing that, like, Artasia, your reaction is like you're that dog from like Adult Swim. It's like, this is fine. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everything is fine. House is burning down. Shit's melting.
Yeah. So yeah, that didn't go over well for poor Chrissy. Fat tits, shits her pants and does nothing. I'm sorry.
It's the roast of Chris.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be. I should be a little bit more, like, neutral when I deliver this, but like, they fucked their mom. Fuck him.
Oh my god.
Let's be honest here. Like, there's some people I could mention from VR chat that either currently play VR chat or used to play VR chat, and you people would just play like, I'm not gonna say any names right now, but you'd probably be like, your reaction would be like, fuck them. Like, fuck them. So it's like that. Let's get back to the earlier story. So, like, Bob, the reason I mentioned Bob is that Bob died just about the time that Barb and Chris were about to go to court against Michael Schneider for getting run over twice. Once by Barb, once by Chris. And what ends up happening is that, like, he's covered in bug bites. They had to quarantine him at the hospital. I don't know if it's bed bugs, because I never got confirmation on that, but it might as well have been bed bugs. And,
You got the cooties.
well, I mean, he died from cardiac arrest, brought on by the stress of having lived in a bad environment, you know? So anyway, like, that happens. It's a pretty tragic day. Even the trolls are so moved that they actually take down all of the Christian threads for, like, a couple days out of respect for Bob, the internet lumberjack. If you're wondering how he got that title, there's a video where, like, one of Christian's fake e-girlfriends was, like, convincing him to get into cybersex. And it would be like if somebody you thought was trying to date you and convince you to have sex with them in VR, and you start fapping off, but for some reason you live at home. So, and, like, that same person that you think you're having sex with calls your parents and says, hey, Christian's dad, like, Christian was on Livestream and was saying that they're going to kill themselves. And bear in mind, this is Bob, like, you know, the father. He actually, while Christian's trying to, like, fap off, he's, like, coming into Christian's room. And it's like, hey, Chris, like, I'm getting all these weird calls about you. What are you doing? And Christian's trying to be like, nothing, go away. Please, go away. And this is all on video, by the way. That's the fucked up part.
No.
Yeah. And eventually he's just like, that's it. I'm cutting down your internet. I'm cutting it down. Don't bother me. Go bother your mother.
I'm cutting it down.
Yeah.
The internet lumberjack.
Yeah, he's gonna cut down.
Wait, and this dude's name was Bob, right?
Yeah, Bob Chandler.
Did he sound like Bob's Burgers? Because, dude, if you say yeah, I have a whole new respect for this individual.
Nah, I'll have to send you like a recorded like call because
Oh.
you hear his voice a lot.
You ruined my headcanon.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but I'm a bit of a heartbreaker like that. So anyway, that whole shtick happens, and the problem is all of like Bob's inheritance. Bob was actually a fairly successful individual. Like he worked at General Electric. He had a couple patents to his name. Like he developed a patent system where it was something to do with freight, like freight trains, how they have like all those carts like connected. He came up with a system that the locks would disengage at like the right time in a synchronized sort of way, I believe. And he got some royalties off of that, So like he wasn't rich, but he was well to do, because he was getting all these royalties. He left everything to Bob and Chris, or I should say Barb and Chris, and they blowed his entire inheritance fighting Michael Schneider in court. Yeah. Like, just for, Michael Schneider just be like, okay, whatever. What am I going to get out of this? I'm going to get an 80-year-old thrown in jail with an autistic child. I'll let him off the hook. I question sometimes if that was the right choice, given everything that we know now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Like, you gotta suffer some
It's
consequences.
debatable.
Yeah. I mean, Christian wasn't exactly destined for greatness, let's be honest. Like, given everything that happened, but it's alright. Christian gets anger management courses and community service, and Barb does too. So, it's years after that Christian's basically, he's gone through the ringer. I'm aware of like a lot of e-girlfriends. I'm going to try to like start wrapping this up because we got other topics of interest to talk about, but like Christian's just such a fascinating subject because there's just so much there. Like so much material that even people like Harry Partridge are just like, there's more documentation about Christian than there is, say, George Washington. Yeah, I could not think of anybody out there whose life has been so meticulously documented. And I mentioned to you some fairly interesting stuff, I'd hope. Yeah.
God, sounds like a lot of craziness.
It's its own ecosystem, honestly.
It's its own
zip
ecosystem.
code, feeding schedule, like it's got all that.
Oh no.
It's got like the content, the deep running roots that would just make an elder one blush, like with just the level of fuckery that's involved.
Yeah, I mean, this was like a coordinated effort against Christian, to be honest with you, but I can't say that the trolls are good people, obviously, because you're making fun of an autistic, man-child online for laughs. I mean, that's not what good people do. But at the same time, Christian didn't exactly do himself any favors, constantly putting himself out there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just crazy. But years later, like, all the internet fake girlfriends kind of drift away, and Christian is, convinced by a gal pal of his. That's why he referred to women that were, like, friends and were also female. Bear in mind, like, this is also the same person that actually was so moved that they wrote the Axe, like, Axe body spray. He actually wrote the company and said, Axe, it has come to my attention that the homosexuals are using your product. Please put this disclaimer on the product that says, warning, not to be used by the homosexuals. We don't appreciate your patronage. Like, he legit did that.
God.
What I'm trying to say is he hates the gays.
My God, how can you say something so bold yet so controversial?
Yeah, I mean, he hates gay people. He hates African Americans, and
this is Chris.
he also hates like anybody that's like a boyfriend of a girl that he likes. He hates men.
What?
Dude. Yeah.
So they just like their end all be all like goal is to somehow obtain a harem.
I'm pretty sure that's, well, what's crazy about Christians that they think like the whole reason the Love Quest was launched is because in college, um, high school years, by Christian's own words, were like the best years of his life. And it wouldn't be until later that he found out that the girls that sort of like hung out with him at school, they were getting paid by his father. Yeah, like to hang out and tolerate Christian.
Damn.
Yeah, it sucks. But the girls didn't really see a problem with it because it's like, they saw him as harmless. And what's crazy is that years later, when they found out more about what Christian did after high school, they revealed that it's kind of creepy, like thinking about it now, because like Christian always seemed to look to us like we were his mother or something. Anyway, but at the time we thought it was harmless, and how wrong they were. Because like, what I was trying to go with that is that Christian, like they thought that Love Quest was going to solve all their problems, and they thought they were going to somehow attract a boyfriend-free girl to them that was going to cook, clean, and do work and basically take care of them. Which sounds more like, what a mother would do. Like a single mom. You see where I'm going with this?
Mhm.
So maybe this is more prophetic than I considered initially, Anyway, like, this is the type of guy that would go to, like, college campus. I could see, like, Cyberpimp doing this. Like, if like, I was recording from, like, a distance, and, Chris, like, you could dress up, like, in a flannel shirt, like, dress up like the Brawny dude from, like, the Brawny Quicker Picker Upper,
No, no.
And, like, hang up, like, an attraction sign. That's what Christian called it. He would hang up a sign that basically says, hey, like, he was advertising that he was looking for a girl. It's like, hey, looking for a boyfriend-free girl. No darkies or mediums or dark chocolate, please.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he would actually come out and say that. Like, no darkies.
So it's literally, oh, what the hell was I gonna say? It's literally it's Tinder, but you're speedrunning it. Oh no.
I mean, like, could you imagine anybody in your social circles
No, it's
or
Tinder speedrun any percentage.
any percentage? I don't know. Well, technically people walking in front of the sign, I guess it's like a swipe left, right? So like, have you seen any cringeworthy behavior on any furries trying to attract a mate? Like, please share some stories.
Well, I'm sure there's stuff I've witnessed, but I can't think of anything recently that's happened, unfortunately. At least that I can recall at the moment.
No, it doesn't have to be
Gift
recent.
art.
Wait, what did you say? Gift card?
Gift art.
Oh, I don't know. I just came up with a name one day. I still need to draw some like cover art for our live stream podcast. I just thought the name Dead First Meat was kind of cool. But I don't know. I would draw all of us like sort of like cartoony style but dead.
Hell yeah.
Like
X's guys.
yeah. We would just be like sprawled out over the table or something. We were
Draw me like all hologram and shit, but I'm all corrupted.
we were playing fucking Russian roulette, but every fucking chamber but one was loaded.
Oh, shit.
So we were playing hardball.
We were playing Russian roulette with a revolving grenade launcher.
Anyway, no, I was gonna say was like, I've seen some cringy ass furries whose idea of romance is middle school level shit. Not very like engaging or endearing, Except unless you're Maxwell. Maxwell, he holds hands with his boyfriend and everything's on cloud 9 until they get back home. Then it turns X-rated pretty quickly. Nah, I'm just kidding, Max.
Yo, that reminds me, like, so
Yeah.
Westworld.
Yeah.
So like, where the robots and the animatronics come to life and try to kill you and shit.
I mean, that doesn't happen until later.
Yeah. Well, I would like to see a modern adaptation of Westworld, but it's anime high school.
Is Christian going to be a character?
Of course.
Oh no.
They're gonna be the gym teacher.
They're gonna be the gym teacher. I think we're gonna have some like. Oh, that's not good. Okay, Max.
Mhm.
Like, what is your thought process on all this?
I really don't want to think about it, to be perfectly honest.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Okay, let me finish my thought here about all this Christian stuff, and feel free to interject if you guys have anything. But, Christian thought like that was their end goal is getting some pussy. Okay, like they got it in a couple different ways. I mean, they hired a prostitute, and the worst thing about it is he had a bad habit of recording himself when he was trying to plead with like a prospective girlfriend. And one of the videos, it was like a Bender moment because he's like, "Come on, I don't want to have to go like get a prostitute again." And like I just thought in my head, I'm like in Bender's voice, it's like, "Come on, baby, go out with me. Hookers are expensive."
Again, though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So no, dude. This anyway. Christian, as you all know, they did the dirty, and I'll tell you something more recent. Let's speed back up to like what's happening now. They actually got a fucking lawyer, like an actual lawyer that's pretty good. Like I thought they were gonna give him a piece of shit lawyer that was like Lionel Hutz from like Simpsons, doesn't even know what he's doing. But no, they actually got him a professional lawyer that has argued in murder cases, like white collar crime. They gave him the best public defender that they got, like David Heidelman, I believe is his name, and he's a prominent individual. But during court, I can only imagine what Davey is like thinking right now because Christian has already insulted the judge. Like they got up and threw a temper tantrum in the courtroom. They basically said, "I'll like cooperate with whatever you're doing as long as I get to go home and get my things." I'm like, dude, like this is where I was foreshadowing earlier about the Legos thing. Like Artasia, Maxwell, Cyber. I'm trusting you guys to make sure that my Legos are secure if I get arrested. Okay, like ever.
You got it.
And like keep that shit away from Ashy Paws, Grubby Paws. Okay.
Oh no.
You don't get to play with my Legos. Christian
I'm
seems
gonna
like
glue them all together.
you're gonna glue them all together. Great.
The most cursed thing you could do. It's the crackle
Just the crackle.
from Lego Movie.
Yeah. All right. Christian seemed like he wanted all this stuff from home, but I'll tell you what, they don't let Legos in prison, okay? Like, or My Little Pony action
Yeah,
figures.
can you imagine how dangerous those things would be in the shower? You'd step on it, it would just end your life.
Make a shiv out of that, man.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about like bending over. Like you just step on a Lego and that's it. Lights out, you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, probably for the best of like everybody in like the entire prison system. But like, what's crazy is that they were considering sending Christian to a female prison at first, and then they changed their minds.
Well,
What's up?
all right, cool.
He got sent to a male prison, and I was going to make a video, but nothing ever happened because September 16th or the 17th, I forget which day specifically, but they were supposed to appear in court again as like a secondary preliminary hearing. Didn't happen, got pushed back, so David Heidelman had some breathing room to prepare his case, I guess, till November. We don't even know the exact date in November, so it's like up in the air right now. But I hope you guys were simultaneously interested, engaged, and horrified by everything I shared with you about Christian.
Yes,
It's
and some.
definitely a cocktail this evening.
Yeah. Sorry I took so long talking about it. Let's move on to brighter and better subjects, shall we?
Yes.
Okay.
What do we got?
So, you know how I mentioned AP, like Ashy Paws. The reason I mentioned them is because that they're the only person that I've ever seen to make a numerity of alternative accounts, Like, that's something that's publicly known. I'm not really sharing anything deep and invested here. All right. So, fursuits. Fursuits are fairly important in furry fandom, right, guys?
Yes, usually.
They definitely have a prominence.
Yeah.
That shit's expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Can be.
Seraphim's first reaction is like, dude, that shit's expensive. Like, he doesn't care about the intrinsic value or the appearance or the beauty. He's just like, that's expensive.
That's like the cost of like one Barrett 50 cal.
Fair. I'd rather a tricked out gaming computer and a VR headset these days, to be honest with you, but that's just me.
Yeah, definitely.
If I want a fursuit that badly, I'll just make it myself. But no, there was a particular fursuit maker out there. And I won't tell you the name yet. Artasia probably already knows because and thank you for watching my videos.
Yeah.
But basically this fursuit maker, he had a following. He wasn't Don't Hug Cacti or Lemon Brat levels of popularity, but they had a fairly prominent following. They had a Telegram chat room that they catered to, and they're doing all right for themselves. Problem. One day, it had been pointed out that he made an alternative account that was basically... It didn't overtly say that he was a young gay black male that was a furry, but the use of the avatar picture they used and the messages that he was spouting would lead you to believe that. It was heavily implied that that's what the user of the account was going for. And what ends up happening is somebody that's perceptive in the chat room makes correlations between the two accounts, because that account, if it was just an OC that he was passionate about, I think that would have been a lot more, acceptable, right? I could make a Native American, wolf that lives on the plains and lives a native, in the 1800s, I'm not saying I'm them. I'm just making...
Then Teddy Roosevelt rolls up.
Then Teddy Roosevelt rolls up and shoots him.
Oh,
That's
no.
terrible.
Always on time, Cyber. Thank you.
Always.
I try, dude.
Anyway, what I was going to say was people in the chat room were making the narrative that this individual was basically using the identity of passing themselves as young, gay, black, furry, as using that as a political platform. And the platform that they used it for was basically a webcomic that was, I believe, drawn by their mate. Don't quote me on that one, but it was easy enough that people could draw correlations with the two. And it shows their character basically denying some of the core tenets of the furry fandom if you're politically affiliated right now. I'll just say this, whether you agree with them or not, there is a significant, sizable proportion of people in the U.S. that feel like they're being personally persecuted by their own government, whether local or federal. At least hear them out, I'm not saying...
that's me.
Well, I feel like that's all of us in different ways, but... Anyway, minorities. So, anyway, what I was trying to say with that is they were accusing them of basically digital blackface.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Here's the problem. This person, they start arguing about it with their own followers for a bit, and it the hazing in the internet, Twitter.com, it's so bad that they have to retreat, and their mom gets involved and basically says to the trolls, okay, you've had enough. It's time to let down. And that just seemed embarrassing to me. What little respect I would have had if they bowed out gracefully or not engaged just went out the door when I saw that. Yeah.
It's I'm telling mom. Oh no! When back in the day of good old Xbox Live,
Oh God.
Halo 2, Halo 3. It's like, what's the matter? Gonna cry? Go and put your mom on the mic. Mom gets on the mic. Boy. That's back before Karens existed. I think I was in the group of people that we built the Karens.
Unfortunately.
God damn, dude. You contributed
Wasn't
to
my
creating a latent tumor on the face of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you work in retail, which God forbid any of us do. But
as long as you're the manager, you're untouchable.
Dude, think about it this way. The Karen asked to speak to the manager, and you are the manager. The problem with that is that you have to actually talk to this bitch. I'm just
that's when you just say, I gotta poop. That's it. It is. Yo, for real, it is the end all be all conversation ender. Like, it's like they're like, oh, you got a speeding ticket, officer. I gotta poop. What's he gonna do? Yo, is he gonna arrest you? He ain't gonna let you poop in the squad car. Hell nah. He'd be like, all right, yo, I'm gonna give you Scout's honor. I'm gonna be right here. Come on out with your hands up when you're done shitting.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah. I mean, like that'd be pretty solid.
Like, officer, if you do not let me poop in my own home, I will poop in that squad car. And he's just gonna be like, oh man. All right, you get 15 minutes. I'll be back. I'm gonna drive around the block. I'll be right back.
And you just drive away, well, like the opposite way. Jesus Christ. All right. So anyway, no, like, I don't know. I just remember somebody was like, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you," and I'm just like, "Well, that's funny. I don't really want to talk to you."
Oh no.
And just like, that was my like dodge for the situation. I'm wondering if that's gonna work on a Karen.
On the what?
Karen.
Oh, on a Karen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
How tall is her perm?
All right, moving on. No, like the perception. Okay, the person in question is Kaiju Costumes, and they were a Trump supporter, they were a MAGA supporter, fully blown. Their mother was too, and it became public knowledge later as like photos leaked out, and a lot of people reacted adversely to that because, as you all know, the fandom is very hypersensitive about that sort of thing these days. They don't really like that sort of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it didn't really
having an opinion.
I mean, there's having an opinion, and then there's like trying to be deceitful to the people closest to you. It would be
Well,
like,
no, I'm just saying,
yeah.
like
I
for
know,
the
I know.
fandom, just imagine having an opinion.
No, I think some like the pushback on him was like a little bit hard, but I can't really feel too bad about him because of the way he responded to it. Like, you don't fight fire with fire in that sense. You try to be the bigger man and walk away, or stand there and take it. I'll tell
You just go on Twitter and be like, "Yo, can't talk right now, gotta poop," and then they'll just leave you alone. For real, that's it. They'll forget all about you.
If I'm actively being canceled, I need to just do that. It's like, hey, I know you guys want to cancel me right now, but can't. Gotta poop.
Just gotta poop, dude. I'm busy.
Just bow
Pooping
out.
right now.
Okay. Well, the reason that I find the Kaiju Costumes sort of like, drama story so fascinating is like the whole core, the crux of like, Maxwell and Cyber, you were at Ground Zero. Arctasia, I'm sure you heard about it, like in passing fancy with certain people. Part of the reason, like, I faced it, as like a wannabe film director, like all that drama.
Mm-hmm.
People over time will form a perception of you, and that perception that they have can either be accurate or half accurate to how you actually are. I guess Bill Cosby is a good example.
There's always room for Jello.
I think he was interested more in like putting something else in there.
He got his pudding pops, dude.
Yeah.
He had one pudding pop between his legs.
Yuck.
But anyway, America formed a perception about him being this funny, innocent dude that was like, he had that like act. What was that? Family Matters or something like that? That sitcom where he's like the father? Okay.
Yeah.
He just acts like an innocent, like, black dude that everybody loves and, respects and adores. But the real Bill Cosby, from what I heard, is like a little bit different than that,
Well, of course.
He's a lot edgier than that portrayal. But people saw that and they formed an opinion about him. That was the perception they held. And this isn't necessarily with like public figures. This is like, even in your friend groups, somebody that you don't know too well, they seem like they're fine, but I don't know, maybe they're killing dead puppies in the back room when you're not looking.
Oh no.
Joe, we talked about this. You gotta stop killing dead puppies.
But I'm Korean. I want to eat them.
Oh no.
Like, dip
Yo,
that
he-
shit in fucking bulgogi sauce. I'm going to town, man.
Yo,
Like,
dear lord. He rolls up, he'd be like, Mashu Mashin Day, Jun Tajin Wei, Nandum now.
you know why you don't see, like, like Doge anymore?
Oh no. That's why that's why Dogecoin, like, that's why it spikes and falls all the time, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
That's
guys.
true.
I have an addiction.
You're manipulating the market. I'm gonna call the
I
IRS.
got an addiction, man. I'm starting to look at those Shibas. They're pretty delicious looking. I mean, what?
Yep,
I mean, we
all
could
the
use
Nazis
less
are
of those
gone.
anyway.
Hell yeah.
That's a never-ending food supply right there.
Right.
Nah, I kidding. But in all seriousness, though, like, you form a perception about somebody, you have assumptions about them that, like, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that, and then they do it, and then you freak out because that broke your paradigm in your mind about them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you guys went through that maybe, or were the recipient of that, like people that knew you, like, hey, you're not the Maxwell I thought you were, you're not the Artasia I thought you were.
Yep.
Come on, man. You got enough femboys orbiting you that I'm sure one of them spazzed out one day.
Oh no.
I mean, to be
Wait,
fair,
which one of us?
Me.
the least effeminate and most manly of them all, just standing there in their fucking. Anyway,
Yeah, they flock around me in droves.
okay.
Gotta beat him off with a stick.
But anyway, that's what I was pointing out about kaiju costumes is that, especially when you have a creator, like a content creator or somebody that's like an artist or like a fursuit maker, you don't necessarily fully know who you're really engaging with until you got to hang out with them for like a sufficient amount of time. And a sufficient amount of time is like not even accurate because they might act differently around you than they would other people, you know? Like me
True.
me in private is going to act different from Tujo in public.
Not for me.
Not me.
Seriously, not me. I'm the same all around.
That's fair. I'm
Which
just
is
saying.
scary to
I
some
pretty
people.
much am a what you see is what you get kind of person.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although sometimes people have these misconceptions of me on occasion, but that'd be like that though.
No, I got you, man. People handle the news like in different ways, but some people just can't articulate the words to have like a mano a mano conversation with the other person. So they spaz out. They try to cancel your ass. I heard Maxwell hates Best Boys, so he must hate everybody in the Best Boy community. So, and one thing leads to another, and suddenly you're getting railroaded. Or you're engaging in the puppy holocaust, one of the two.
Oh no.
Well,
So, yeah, I just had to go there. Okay,
Anything but that.
let's hope not.
Even Christian.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
hating Best Boys isn't the worst thing in the world. So
Oh no.
I mean, I'm starting. I kind of
shots
want.
fired. Shots fired.
No, like Artasia just gave me an idea. I kind of want to make a
Oh,
chart
God.
and make a short out of it, like establishing the VR chat food chain. So, like, you know how Best Boys, they would eat Blobby Knuckles in the early days?
Yeah.
It's like what eats what, or like what tries to eat the other, but maybe can't without help. So, yeah, that'd be an interesting chart. It's just that the problem is, unless you're an established race, like how Naga Cougars are considered their own species, and like Best Boys and Sheebs are their own species, it would be hard to like do that because there's so many different, like for instance, Maxwell, Arctasia, Cyber, like you three are usually furry avatars. It'd be hard for you to like fit in that chart. I guess I'll make a pie chart. But anyway, yeah, that was just something about kaiju costumes I found interesting, was like how they ran to Mommy and Mommy came in and, well, they became the laughing stock of the internet. And there's that meme, like, that meme where like the guy bursts in the room and it's like the stereotypical 50s father with like the fedora and like smoking a pipe. It's like, are you winning, son? And you just see kaiju costumes heads like, help me, mother. They're making fun of me on the internet. Anyway. In other news, you guys wouldn't know this, but there's going to be a convention happening at the end of this year. Well, actually, it's next year, but a year from now.
Okay.
Do it.
It's going to be happening in Oklahoma, and
Yes.
it's going to be called Free for All, standing for good old-fashioned American values like freedom of speech and Second Amendment rights and all things in between. But the furry fandom condemned it. They wouldn't have Free for All. Free for All would not happen if the furry fandom had its say. Do you know why?
Oh no.
Mm-mm.
So, are you familiar with the Furry Raiders?
I am not. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Artasia, have you ever heard of this wonderful eclectic group of people?
I have, yes, although my knowledge of them is not that rich.
That seemed very uncomfortable when you said that. You're like, oh, yes, the Furry Raiders. I've heard of them. Not really.
They're like the Oakland Raiders, but they don't shave.
the Oakland.
They put toothpaste in my orange juice.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
It's it's not so good.
No, it doesn't sound very good. Okay. So the Furry Raiders are the closest thing to, like, Nazi furs because they wear a nice little red armband. That's solid red. It's got a white dot. What is that starting to remind you of?
It's the good old, Nazi uniforms with the swastika.
Yeah, I mean, they use a paw print instead of a
Paw
swastika.
print instead, yeah.
Yeah.
Adorably so.
Adorably so.
Adorably.
Flirting at the idea of, get it?
Oh god, that just reminds me of this fucking comic I saw where it's like, we're not really Nazis, teehee. And like the comic artist is just like, what kind of fucking kindergartner not touching you bullshit is this? Like the whole, I'm not touching you.
Right.
So the Furry Raiders, they were led by a guy called Foxler. What does that remind you of?
Hitler.
Oh no.
Yeah. See, they actually called Maxwell in the service. Maxwell said no. He knew it was up. He was not going to get involved. He's just like, you are not my Fuhrer. Fuck off.
And dipped out and went right to Brazil.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they've been shipping fucking avocados using exotic birds ever since.
Hell yeah. Birds of paradise.
Yeah, man. I mean, gotta get around that excise tax.
Right.
So it's been largely claimed that like the Furry Raiders are going to use that as their stomping ground. I didn't really see much evidence to support this, but some of its members, or at least people that have been seen with Furry Raiders, well, yeah. Like there was even a chat room that was set up just called Unofficial Free-for-All Convention, chat. And you had people openly saying very racist, anti-Semitic things. And I remember reading it, and I'm just kind of like, oh man, we're already off to a good start here.
Yeah, how long did that take until that started? Just like seconds?
Pretty much, yeah. I pulled up the screen caps, and I'm like, okay, let's see what... Oh. Like, I was about to censor myself for some of the things I said, but... Well, whatever. I mean, people are going to know where it came from. Yeah, so... We're already having some pretty edgy people that are seeing this convention as an opportunity to be complete shitheads. And for me, like, everybody likes a good old edgy joke, right? Every now and again. But some things that they were saying...
Gonna cut yourself on all that edge.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you gotta wonder, like, what are people's thought process when they say certain things? Like, they just kind of say it to say it.
Brain go burr.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean... Maxwell's seen it all before. And Arctasia's no stranger to controversy. I'm not saying that you're controversial, Arctasia. I'm saying that you've seen it.
I mean, maybe I am. I mean, just a little bit.
Just a little.
Hell
I know
yeah,
I'm
that dude's
controversial.
super
Everybody's
controversial.
always trying to, get me for something I didn't do.
I was there for all the drama. I saw the whole thing. You could believe me. I'm an internet stranger, man.
Internet stranger, man?
Hell yeah. Check the emoji.
Okay. Well, okay, so like the whole thing's being spearheaded by an individual called Peace Wolf. And Peace Wolf I know very little about. I will say that some of the things that they have said have kind of pushed the envelope on being tone deaf, but they don't seem, apart from their association with people like Canis, like Lupine. If you don't know who Canis is, he's the kind of guy who thinks that it would be completely okay to come to a furry convention with, loaded gun on his hip. Sire Pimp, I know you're all for the Second Amendment, but I gotta say, like, guns don't belong everywhere.
Oh no. You need t-shirt cannons.
T-shirt cannons.
Hell yeah. But they're packed with, like, frozen t-shirts.
Oh no. All right. Peace Wolf decided to tap 2 Griffin to be their guest of honor.
Oh wait. Oh. Okay.
Maxwell, would you like to share?
No. Well.
Please. Regale us. What do you know about the dude?
At least from what I've heard, he's not allowed at any of the big conventions anymore due to things he's said that weren't nice, to put it very politely.
Yeah, that's very putting it mildly. What's crazy, like, the one thing I will give 2 Griffin credit for is that they had a panel and it was agreed to at Anthrocon. And I think this is back in 2016, something like that. It was agreed to, But when the convention rolled around, Anthrocon said, "Oh, you're canceled. Get out." And it's kind of shitty because, you agreed to it. If I was Anthrocon, if I was Crunkle Kage, like running Anthrocon, being all... I would have at least let him have that panel and then said, like, next year when they try to apply, it'd be like, due to the changing nature of the venue, we can no longer host your event. We apologize.
Yeah, that was kind of shitty they did that.
Yeah, like, at least give them their last hurrah before you kick them to the curb, I don't know. Like, what are your opinions about that?
I mean, yeah, I would say that would have been a better way to do it, rather than, the classic, oh yeah, like, I'm trying to even think of a good analogy here. I can't, so.
That's fair. Sire Pimp?
Yes.
Yes.
I was waiting for one of your, like, zingers to pop in at the last second.
Oh,
No.
those are very random. You can't be like,
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Yeah, I
can't
gotta
please
save
the
him up.
cows
It's
to
like
expect them to come out.
it's like a hyper beam in Pokemon. Like you gotta initialize it and charge up, then you gotta wait a whole turn.
All right.
And if you're lucky, I'll hit.
All right.
Please charge your unit then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fire him a laser.
All right. So 2 Griffin is, like, he's well known as being this ranting Griffin. I never actually, like, I could never really stomach watching one of his acts because it seems like something a 12-year-old would be really, like, fixated on watching,
I'll explain why my ex liked it so much.
Thank you for
Oh,
that. Like, damn.
Good.
See, like, 2 Griffin, he seems polished in some ways, but at the same time, I don't know, I've seen some...
I mean...
Go ahead.
In a way, and I don't know any other really way to say this, he's an elegant... I don't want to say bigot, that's a wrong term, but he's an elegant, opinionated, interesting person.
He's a glorious bastard, is what you're trying to say.
Yes, thank you, yes.
All right. Well, yeah,
Good guy, though.
That's a pretty accurate way of describing him. I mean, he would make racist...
fabulous bastard.
You can be a fabulous bastard. All right, he's the glorious bastard. Right. No, 2 Griffin would, like, say edgy humor. That was his shtick. He would basically get up on stage to be in your face about everything, like, from start to finish. And it's more shocking to me that he'd been doing that for years without anything so much as, like, a second thought. But it's not until 2016, when Trump got elected, that the fandom lost its collective shit and was just like, oh no, this guy gotta go. And I'm conflicted because it's like, if you're going to get an audience, then you should have the right to, like, put on a show. But you're not going to be able to put on a show. Like, if you, for whatever reason, you put on a show and only like 12 people show up, then the con's going to feel very stupid because we devoted all of this space and like effort for you only for 12 people to show up. Like, what the fuck? You're not going to get a second chance here. You know what I mean? So, I guess Anthrocon was sort of bending the knee to the crowd, like mob rule, in that sense. But I can't really, in good faith, like defend his ass, like based on some of the things he said. Like, you call it statutory rape, no big deal.
Oh no.
You know, like dating a 17-year-old.
Oh boy.
Or a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old. It's not like Chris Hansen's going to come to your house and just be like, "Why don't you go have a seat over there?" So yeah, he's certainly an interesting fellow. He's also one of the people that like a lot of the fandom was like angry about hearing that he's going to be the guest of honor, which I can kind of understand. It's like that's really setting a standard for your convention, right? Having him as the guest of honor. What does that tell the fandom?
I mean, last time I was seeing any of his videos, he was abrasive, but he wasn't like, you know, at least maybe I'm not aware of it, but I don't know. When he, for someone who's been like told not to come back, and in such a way too, it's kind of like, is that really this person you want? You know, like, is there stuff that we don't know that they know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, building an act about being a ranting asshole, it's got its place. Like, don't get me wrong. That's why you get hecklers on stage sometimes because, you know, people can deal with that sort of thing, yeah. But in his case, he kind of pushes the envelope a bit. At least from what I heard.
Yeah, like Lewis Black made a literal career out of being an angry asshole, but he, you know, he knows there's lines you just don't cross, you know?
Right.
Also, he has fully admitted regretting being the angry asshole.
Damn. Who would have thunk
Damn,
it?
homie.
In like Free for All's case, like Free for All does not appear to like know what it wants to do. It like the people running it right now, like they don't seem to have much experience running a convention. Granted, this is going to be the first con, so that makes sense. I can't really fault them too much, but it's honestly shaping out to be a bit of a shit show, and people are actually okay. So if people want to have a convention, they want to support that, that's their right to do so. I'm not going to be like, oh no, this cannot happen. I don't feel like I don't care enough to get out there and be like boycotting them or anything like that. But
well, in all honesty, it would be like boycotting the KKK. Yeah, it's not a good thing, but people like what they like, and they will find a way to enjoy it. Like,
yeah,
it's almost like why fight City Hall in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, but I can't help but feel bad for any potential con goer that is looking at the convention and be like, hey, I live in Oklahoma. Oh, what's this free-for-all convention about? Oh, and they don't see like any of the negativity. They're just like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And the convention...
It almost feels like a trap.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. But like, the problem is I looked at the people running the thing. They're not the types of people that are going to like try to entrap you. However, what I'm questioning is what can you do there? Because a lot of people were making correlations with Mormonism because that's like peak Mormon country. I almost said company. So it's like, what are you going to do there if like drinking and hanging out and stuff is not going to be like kohishi? Yeah.
Yeah, and well, what I mean by trap is like not that they're setting it up, but that like someone will get the list of who went, and then they'll be like targeted and stuff. You know?
Yeah, it is pretty shitty, but that's the world we live in right now. So it's whatever. I mean, I'm not supporting like anyone here, by the way, when I say that. I'm just saying like there's bad actors on all sides here.
That's a
But
new term I've learned not too long ago.
what?
Bad actor.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen a few in your time.
I just always said bad people or bad person, bad actor though. I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were in
Not
Hollywood.
me. I'm the best.
All right there, Cyberpimp. But okay, so anyway, free for all is going to happen. Maybe it's actually a big maybe because like what's crazy is people actually called the Marriott where it's taking place, and the Marriott was like, we failed to see how it's any of your business that we divulge any information about an event that may or may not happen. So the floor where it's supposed to be happening isn't even a sure thing. You know? So that's like a really good recipe for success, right? Like,
Hell yeah.
it could it's like a Schrodinger's like convention. It could happen, or it might not. Stay tuned. And people were immediately drawing correlations between Rainforest and DashCon.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you guys remember Rainforest, right?
I mean, it's So, it's great to remember. Well, in this case, I don't know if it is great.
It's great to remember. You were there, Arctasia. Do
No, I
regale
wasn't.
us. Were you did you drill that glory hole in the fucking men's restroom?
I was the one going around diapers. You kidding me? Like, yeah,
oh no!
Speaking of, I gotta take a poop. Well,
oh no! Flooded the entire building out.
Yeah.
Goddamn Aquaman would be proud.
There's a reason why that pool was running brown that day.
Oh God.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, I've actually seen what was it, the Internet Historian
yeah,
take on that, and which is good. It's well compiled. It definitely gives a nice, just open, fair look at the events and kind of what snowballed it and such like that. So, but yeah, that's it's a big brown note on the conventions that have come and went for sure.
I get it, brown note.
Yeah.
So when I was going, like, I met this lady friend that I was really close to, and I kind of brought her into the furry fandom.
Oh,
and
how could you?
Yeah, I know. Well, she was, it's sad. Like, I'm about to say something here that might get some hateocracy aimed at me, but you know what? I'm just gonna say my opinion. Some of the female furries in the fandom, they're attractive. They're like completely okay. Maybe they're lesbian, maybe they're not, maybe they're bi. I don't know. But like truly attractive women are kind of rare in the furry fandom. From my perspective, I mean, like it's mostly a sausage fest. Let's be honest.
Right.
Well, that's why there's fursuits.
Yeah, but and so I don't know. Like, you almost have to bring people into the furry fandom. I'm not trying to say like everyone's ugly, but you got some misfits here.
Right.
And
the best kinds are the one that you drag in kicking and screaming too, by the way.
Oh, she didn't need to. She needed to be kicking and screaming. She was fine. But no, I was hanging out. I was hanging out with her. We were walking along the streets of Pittsburgh, and everything was fine. But I found a refugee from Rainforest. Like, that was attending the yeah.
I like how we're referring it to the refugees from.
See, okay,
that's awesome.
You gotta understand, like a lot of crinkle furs would go to this fucking convention, and like when Rainforest shut down, then where does the problem go? They're going to disperse all across the U.S. to whatever safe haven they can find. And I say that because this guy, you guys watched Rugrats when you were a kid, right?
Wasn't. I mean, I know of the show, but it wasn't really something I'd watch.
All right. Well, Max, Cyber, Rugrats, you watched it as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
All right. There wasn't. Oh, okay. That sounded more like the Simpsons ending theme.
Yeah, I know.
There was like an episode where Tommy, like, all the kids have to go to bed, whatever, but the adults want to put on a party. They want to put on a costume party. And one of the guests shows up, and it's like, oh, shoot, you guys are having a costume party? I didn't bring a costume. Oh, wait, give me a bed sheet. I'll be the baby. So you have this grown-ass man who puts, like, a bed sheet around his, Frankenbeans. He's going to be a giant baby. And like the kids, when they see that, they're like freaked out, and the guy's just basically trying to like entertain them, but like the kids are having none of it. The guy that I saw at the convention looked exactly like that character, but in real life form. Curly blonde hair, like has like the fucking like diaper on.
Wait,
Yeah,
that was the person in real life too?
that's what it looked like. Like he
Oh,
looked like that character. So anyway, I'm walking with her. I've seen this guy several times. It's creepy because like I kept seeing him out in public, but we would never talk. Like I just kept seeing them and they would just be around. It was like the creepy night manager at Stucky's type. The one that kind of like hovers around but you don't really want to talk to because they look weird. It had rained, like a torrential downpour had happened, and I was walking with this lady friend up the street because I wanted to take her to someplace Cassie. There was like a nice little speakeasy. I wanted to take her out for drinks. And I looked over and I see him like just passed out in an alleyway, you know,
Mhm.
probably on drugs. I don't really know. But
fair.
I had a look of horror on my face, and she like looked at me and was just like, "What's the matter? What happened?" I'm like, "You didn't see that just now, did you?" And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's fine. Don't look."
Mm-mm.
Well, seriously, I don't want her to look at that. Like, come on. I want like positive vibes. I don't want fucking like this diaper fur. He was like shaped like a pear, like body shape wise, but not in a good way. Like this is a really bad way. And I've been told by other people that like I would mention this to. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw that guy. He put a fucking dirty ass diaper in a public place. Thankfully, he got yelled at for it." A public place in the hotel where everybody's like passing through.
Gross.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been talking for quite a while, and
Yes, you have.
I feel like I've been like hogging the show from you guys. So, like, I want you guys to talk a little bit more. Come on, like, share your thoughts on all this. Anything else you wanted to mention before we, you know?
Yo, it's me. Look, I'm talking. What?
Hey, I'm talking over here.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm walking.
Shh.
Oh,
Well, you're about to be
Christopher Walken.
limping.
Oh,
All right. So, what are your thoughts about everything I shared with you? Or maybe you want to bring a new topic to the table. That's fine.
Uh, hmm. Ugh. Yeah. Hmm. It's like indigestion, Like I feel like there's been a lot that's been put on the plate,
hmm
and I've just been sitting here consuming it, and now it's like, uh, it's regret. There's like regrets there. That I decided to take it all in at once. But it's okay. I'll just poop it out later.
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
I
Yo,
got
oh
poop.
shit. No pun intended.
Right.
I gotta poop.
Just just too much weird shit in one day. It's
It's a lot in one location.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you that we live in wonderful times. This fandom is full of great people. Um, we obviously will ascend as human beings because of things like this. Um, obviously, there's nothing truly wrong. It's just all an illusion. It's all just a smoke and mirrors. Just a dream.
I
It's
love
just
it, dude. The
yeah,
tactful nihilism. I'm all
right,
about it.
exactly. See, it's just you do you uh and just enjoy yourself. Do.
I'm all about how about that? How about that real good cancel culture? You
Oh,
Mm.
I
know?
was gonna mention that as a topic.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Yo, so like you you like one thing, somebody likes another thing. That's all right. That's cool. Y'all are homies, but your homie finds out what you like and they don't like it. Now your homie ain't your homie no more.
Oh no.
Yep. And not only that, now your homie who ain't your homie no more tells all your other homies not to be your homie no more. So now you're a homie with 0 homies.
Damn.
You're a blow me.
Mm.
That'll
Ouch.
cost you. That is a premium service.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
Oh.
fair.
Not for me.
Yeah, you need a paid subscription to that. It's kind of like a battle pass. Oh yeah. Get that. That's that DLC, you know. But yeah, it's wild.
Get
I don't even
your
know.
furry
There-
season pass.
There's so much like crazy shit going down, like game devs of like that Overwatch game. Then you got like shit happening with like Halo.
Dude, Blizzard, they had the Bill Cosby room. They even
Yeah,
had a
apparently
fucking
Doom.
picture of Bill Cosby in the Bill Cosby room.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a weird shrine.
I mean, I think it was indicative about what the intention was, but you know.
I think I know what the real problem is. It's like we all turned our backs on MySpace. You know, Twitter got too powerful, Facebook got too powerful. We turned our backs on MySpace. You know, we could have changed the world and took it back to a time where no one really cared and everyone was just chill. And modded controllers on Call of Duty 4 were still meta. Damn, good times.
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpimp, go back to your arcades and pass out.
Yeah, oh shit, man. Those are good times. Star Wars Pod Racer, great game.
Dude, my mom worked at Hex, and like she would take me to work sometimes, and I would just like they had a promotional like N64 that is set up with Pod Racer, so I just kept playing that over and over again.
Yes.
And then I asked like a manager, like, where'd they take the N64? And she was really nice. Like, usually adults weren't really nice to me as a kid, but she was like really nice. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to inform you, but that promotion ended." I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh well." It was far nicer than that fucking religious lady that was like bothering me at a toy store. It was just kind of like, "Hey, I'm afraid of the devil, aren't you?" I'm like, I guess." And she gave me a religious pamphlet.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like an 7-year-old kid. Like, what am I gonna do with this?
You draw on it. You draw devil horns everywhere. That was me.
Draw like a pentagram on it in like Sharpie marker.
Hey, remember, kids, Satan doesn't believe in hitting children.
Nope, but okay, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say.
Oh no!
You were gonna go there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, we don't go there. We yeah. How about that cancel culture, eh?
All right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, hitting kids around is just a wonderful pastime.
Ooh.
But,
Artasia, I know that you've been a well-traveled, individual that's encountered a lot of experiences over your lifetime, but maybe don't share your childhood with us. No, I'm kidding.
no, it's okay. No one will ever hit me as hard as my dad used to. So.
Oof.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. By the way, I didn't know my dad.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn. You're pulling out all the stops.
Well, I'll just say like cancel culture is truly unfortunate, but
oh shit! Almost bit my tongue off. My God.
Oh.
Yeah, don't do that. Then you'll sound
Damn,
like
someone must be talking about me. They're gonna cancel me right now. Oh my God.
You're gonna sound like Hank Hill, but retarded.
Shit, dude, I'm already there.
Oh shit.
Hell yeah, man. Yo, I'm like half deaf, half blind, full retarded.
God damn it. All right. No, like what's unfortunate about cancel culture is like I've been canceled. A couple of my friends have been canceled. I'm
surprised I haven't been canceled already. Honestly,
it's okay. You'll get your time in the sun.
I'm sure that it's just one of these days. I probably have them tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
Wow. No. No, like I see it like this. The people that cling to things like as holding something, like see me holding something against somebody it would have to be pretty fucking bad. Like, you know, raping
Mhm.
somebody, stealing like a large amount of stuff, like monetary valued stuff from like friends or family.
Right.
Maybe even like beating up a friend or standing somebody up or something. It would have to be pretty major for me to like raise my eyebrow and give enough of a care to say, you are a fucking asshole, and I will make sure everybody I know knows that. I don't usually bring it up unless like the person I'm talking about it to knows them. Cause like
Mm.
I could come up to Cyberpimp and like, yo, like, you know this dude over here? And Cyberpimp would be like, the fuck's he? Be like, well, I have it on good authority that they yada yada yada. It's like, what sense does it matter? So if your
Mhm.
life is that pathetic and sad that you have to like adopt this whole mindset of I need to tell everybody I know because I need to protect them from bad people. And it's like, well, what is your definition of bad people? Like, how do you know that what you're saying is actually true?
Mhm.
Kira the Wolf is probably the only person on like, you know, well, I can't say that. I can't say they're the only person because some other people that I've mentioned are definitely bad people. But they're the only person I can just like defiantly say no, they're like absolutely horrible. Um, but I never understood that mindset that hey, like let's say we're all like a group of friends, and then Artasia, I don't like Artasia anymore. Artasia's gotta go.
Oh, oh,
But
oh.
you guys like Artasia, but I will not let it go. I will tell like you guys, hey, I thought I told you not to hang out with this guy, but you know, now you guys have to choose because now I'm starting to tell everybody in like our friend circles, this Artasia person, they're a bad hombre. They gotta go. It's kind of like what you said before. And so Max has to decide, my friendship with Artasia or my popularity. Cyberpimp don't even give a damn. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's such an infectious like mindset because I see it like this. I don't like the game of playing. Hey, let's see who we can get to first to convince them that they should either remain my friend or you know to like convince somebody to like get away from somebody. It's a bullshit game, you know.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's a waste of
No
time.
one wins.
No, it's like it's a waste of time. I'm more like saying, man, it you must have it made. You must have like no job, no expenses to pay. You must have like no real activities going on in real life to have that much time on your hands that's all you do.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen it like numerous occasions, even with a couple of people I know, and I can actually think of one person who I won't mention, but um, and you know what's sad? This is years in the making. Like this relates to just some dumb shit that they did like a few years back that somehow got attention and traction. And what's worse, it's completely out of context because the truth of the matter is there was no real like intended truthful context to it. It was just bullshit to me, basically. And the people involved knew this too. Like the initial company, like there was no question about it. But somewhere down the line, things kind of leaked out and then of course caught wind and people are like, oh gosh, this person's so horrible, they do this and that, and I'm gonna start raising a stink about it, and, and of course the rest they say is history because at that point it's like I don't want to necessarily bring this up in bad light to what's been happening this past year, but it was like a wildfire.
Hmm.
um
Right.
once just once it starts is so difficult to put out, much to the effect that this person had to like kind of hide away from it, change identities, you know, because I've had to comfort them through this whole debacle too.
Right.
It's just it's such it's such a waste of time, waste of energy. It unnecessarily ruins people's lives. I get it. Like, if you feel that there's something truly bad out there and whatnot, and I know people want to do these things to try to protect others and stuff like that, and try to set examples of others, but sometimes it's done with such a vindicative just mindset that just is way out there to the fact that there's nothing to it. Like, it's just bullshit. Like, it's just you're not even like really looking to the situation. But that's kind of what people want to do these days, right? They don't want to like actually think or do their own research, or they just kind of take it. It's just like like a baby, just by the mouthfuls, just consume it. It's like, it's whatever. It sounds good enough. Let's roll with it. And this is how rumors and hearsay start in very toxic levels, I would say. And I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. I'm not sure why this is so um, prevalent these days. I think it's just the natural order of connectivity that's allowed it to be a lot more prominent because, years ago, we didn't have this much connectivity. And I think that's the problem. Not really a problem, but it's certainly a form of transportation that is allowed, or a medium that has allowed for such things to really be a lot more rampant.
Yeah,
So,
I have some theories
hmm.
about where it comes from. It comes from a combination of places. I mean, like, some people out there are wounded individuals. They have an issue that they have never gotten over, or they live a humdrum life that lacks any problems, any real problems. All right. And the people I've had most problems with, like, the common denominator is that they were usually jobless or going to school, and most of their real expenses were taken care of, like, for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be in a hypersensitive state where even like a small like joke or something like that would be blown out of proportion,
Right.
like you had no intention to like make them feel bad or make them feel less, but they took it that way for whatever reason. Partly why I hang out with you guys. I can make jokes all day long and you guys are just going to shrug your shoulders and laugh.
Hell
I think
Or
yeah.
hate me.
I mean, or no, you're good. You're good. You go.
Yeah, I think the difference is, yeah, we've seen like a lot. We've been through quite a bit, and I think, yeah, some people are just too coddled, so when they are faced with, actual situations, it's like, oh gosh, this is so horrible. And at the end of the day, most of us are like, well, yeah, that happens, but it's not it's
The
not
end
the
of the
worst
world.
thing. It's yeah, I mean, shitty, sure, but let's move on. you know
It
I do have to
also,
agree with that.
yeah. Do you have something else to say, Max?
Yeah, it honestly it's just it seems to be mostly people of a younger age that don't have and that have little to no world experience and either have lived online or basically their whole life have been online. And so they don't know or don't care about I don't have to say don't know more about the real life implications of what something like that can do.
Mhm.
Um, they get like disassociated with what is real and what isn't, and think, oh, it's just some NPC person online, one of 8.4 billion people online, and oh, it doesn't actually hurt them in the real world. When clearly it does, but they can kind of justify it in their head, you know, it really is that disassociation thing where they just see people as NPCs, not actual people. Um, and I mean, I've seen it happen a few times, and it's been kind of the same process. Something taken out of context, just put on the person's put on blast, and people line up behind them to agree with them and be like, you know, that's what happened, even though it's again out of context and not what actually happened. It's it's all of one person, and it sucks. There's no other way around it.
I think it's easy
Um,
for people to like create their own pockets of sanity, basically.
hmm
Pockets of
And
sanity. That's an interesting
whether
term.
whether that pocket of sanity has any real world bearing or not is completely subjective, because probably doesn't. Because the real world is harsh. It's not always forgiving. Um, so what do people do? They kind of hide away in their own, bubble, basically, and they populate that bubble with things that make them feel better. Which, yeah, I get. I understand that. But I think the problem is when you depend on that to be a normal mode of operation, you, as you were mentioning, you kind of get disassociated with reality, and now everything outside that bubble just seems so foreign and um, wrong, maybe, whatever the case
hmm
is. So I think people get a healthy mix of life. Basically, they want all the good stuff, but let's not worry about any of these real things happening. Let's not worry about um, how much of a consumerist mentality that we have. Let's not worry about the piles of waste and stuff that we're accumulating on a daily basis. Let's not worry about the real world issues that are occurring at a regular basis that are wearing us to the ground.
Right.
Let's just pretend now this is happening, and it's going to be fine. And I always find that this is a huge problem. Um, and I'd like to think that this is like universal, but it seems to be especially prominent in the fandom for whatever reason. Um, but you know, I think we've all heard this on numerous occasions. It's like someone may just casually bring up something that might be um, a little political or something like that, and not even like full blown. Maybe they're not like shouting at the top of the mountain or anything like that. They're just having an idle side conversation with someone about it, and they're like, "Oh, this is not the best place to talk about that."
hmm
Which I get,
Yeah.
but at the same
Everybody
time,
wants a safe space utopia.
Mhm. Right. I get that, but like again, they're not like going around saying this. They're just kind of off to the side, minding their own business. It's like you could have just walked by. You could have just been like, you know what, this is not where I want to be, and just leave. I've done that. Sometimes, like I'm just minding my own business, and people are talking about something that aren't of interest to me. I'm not gonna come up to them like, could you not do that, please? Like that's just I just doesn't make me feel comfortable. No. What I do is I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go over here instead.
Because like if
I'm
there's a
just
beehive and it's like doing beehive shit, I'm not gonna go up to the beehive
yeah,
and be like, hey, yo, beehive, and all your occupants, can you please like beehive over there, pretty please?
yeah. Can I just poke the hive with a stick and just watch it? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Let's see how well
Oh
that
man.
goes over. But like, yeah. So it's like, well, when is it ever a good time to talk about these things? Apparently, never. And if we never talk about these things, if we never discuss them, if we never just, you know, make people aware, they're just going to continue to be problems. They're not going to just magically disappear. They're not going to magically go away. They're not going to just resolve themselves. They won't. But again, we want this perfect, cushy society where everything's fine, everything's well. No, it's just it's ridiculous. I don't.
Yeah, not everything's like gumdrops and rainbows and shit. Like there are like hardships and trials and tribulations, but
Mhm.
everyone like they want to wear this mask and wear a facade and forget about like the real world when
Right.
you can't forget about the real world because when you go to sleep and open your eyes in the morning, you're hey, rise and shine, time to get back to it.
I think people think like you have to move mountains to make differences. And yes, I mean, that's great if you can do that, but certainly not everyone has the ability to. And I always say it's little things. It's any little thing you can do to help out society, the world,
Small
yourself,
victories.
others. Small
Arctasia,
victory.
Cyberpimp,
Yeah.
Maxwell. I do not want to
Mhm.
move mountains. I want to move hearts. My
Damn,
way.
dude, I
Oh,
know all
oh,
about moving mountains, bruh.
Nah, I kid. No.
But yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
just little things like that, like and I think that's the other thing too. People think, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, but it's like, yeah, but like, let's worry about what you yourself can do to make little differences.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't have to be this huge ordeal.
I was just going to read Last Slice's comment. People want to look at life through the glasses that they want to see and hear what they want to hear.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when I asked Artasia, hey, you want to go to the movies tomorrow? I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear, well, actually, too, Joe, that's when I scheduled a game, a board game that's really important, and this is the first release. I don't want to hear that shit. I want to hear, sure thing, too, Joe. You're my best friend, and I would love to go to the movies with you. That's what I want to hear. Nah, I kid.
Yeah, no, it's not too far off actually. Oh,
Uh-oh.
wasn't me.
Nobody
No.
wants to hear that.
Anyway, right? That's fine.
Oh, no.
They're coming for you, Cyber. You better start running for the border.
Which one?
You know what? Pick one, like north or south. Your options are pretty open.
I'm used to cold weather. I'm gonna go visit my homies with the funny hats.
The funny
I ain't
hats.
talking about sombreros.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. All right. Were you going to say something, Arctasia?
No, not really. I think that was pretty much what I wanted to state as far as that goes. So
Oh, I got you, man.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of like guilty by association shit that goes
Mhm.
on. It's like, oh no, this person said one thing that I didn't agree with. Now I can't be friends with anybody they're friends with. And if any of their friends are friends with them after I make this announcement, I'm gonna cancel them too.
Yeah, I mean, one thing leads to another.
People are just getting too involved in the affairs of others.
Mhm.
We need to bring back Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 pregame lobbies. Good
See,
times.
what I was
And
gonna...
Halo 2 pregame lobbies, my god. Like, whew.
See, what I was going to say was that it partially comes from a source of ego, that you're going to impress upon others that they need to have the same friend groups that you do. And if somebody falls out of that friend group, then they need to cancel that person just as much as they do. Now, can I really hold it against, like, the first person if the second person just blindly goes along with it without maybe acknowledging, hey, this situation's kind of fucked up, and it's also fucked up that this person is pressuring me to do something that I don't necessarily want to do, but I'm going to do so I can preserve my image in the face of others. Like, they're both shitheads in my eyes. Like, in light of that, like, you could argue that the second guy was peer pressured into it, but I would still say that they're just as guilty, for going along with the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, sometimes people follow along to get along. Maybe in their heart they don't want to, but they feel like they kind of have to because they're afraid, oh, if I don't follow along with the crowd, I'm going to be just as far cast as the person they originally were going after.
See, it's in a situation like that that I'd rather be the lone wolf than like the sheep in the herd.
Yeah, absolutely. But some people are scared of that because they're just like, oh god, what am I going to do? I'm like, oh, don't worry. Like, I get it. Like, it sucks to be put in that situation, but that's I think both a good and bad thing, because yeah, it's bad that you're kind of getting outcasted because you felt like standing around, but at the same time, that's a good time to realize who is actually a real friend to you and who isn't.
For sure.
Mhm.
See,
So,
You right.
like it's always like common in the movies when the world's against you, but you still have that small group of friends that have each other's backs, you know? We're constantly rooting for the underdog. But, you know, in the furry fandom, it's like all about this e-clout popularity bullshit that at the end of the day, unless you're like a content creator that's getting actively like donations on Patreon or something like that, what's that popularity going to get you?
Mm-hmm.
Besides the fun and enjoyment in the moment.
Yeah. Popularity is a very temporary thing.
Yeah.
What happens once it's over, you know?
Then, see, I often like look at that in a lot of ways. Like the angry video game nerd, he is like persisted and like, you know, has stood the test of time. I'm wondering, like, I never really wanted to make YouTube like a full-time job, even if I had the gusto to do it. Because what are you going to do when you're like 40 or 45? And like, you're no longer young, you're no longer like with it. People might still follow you out of sense of nostalgia, but that is going to be a dwindling audience. You know, people are going to move on. And
I would,
go ahead.
yeah, I would hope like, I don't know, if somebody makes it on, you know, if somebody makes it on like YouTube or Twitch or whatever, I really hope that they got the like the foresight and the I don't know, I hope they invest either their money or their time into a secondary or a tertiary hobby or income, because they're gonna need it. Like, I don't know, if you do some shit on like YouTube or Twitch, I don't know, even invest in like realistically, like Pokemon or Magic will carry you through. Like if people, yo, for real, dude, if people are dropping you like just random stupid amounts of money or some shit, or you're partnered, you're bringing in like a monthly income or some shit like that because
Yeah.
you're partnered, like, just do the meme thing. Open up Pokemon cards on stream, open up Magic cards, or just boxes and save them, because when shit tanks, at least you have something to fall back on. Invest in gold. Don't invest in no cryptocurrency, because it's only a matter of time before the IRS is like, hey, you know all that fake ass internet money you've been buying for years? Yeah, that's illegal now, because it's just money laundering and we can't tax it. Thanks for trying.
Actually, they do tax it now, 25%, 24%.
Shit, dude.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, it's taxed more than the rich people. Finally.
Jesus Christ.
Debatable.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, that's the problem is like some of these people like live off this income
Yeah.
that they're getting, and like, oh, they just quit their job and stuff like that, thinking that they're just gonna do this forever. Like, oh, I've got it. Like I've made it. Like this is, and then like, well, okay, for now, but then once you're not relevant anymore, then what?
Or get canceled.
Or yeah, you know, because pow pow pow, you know, that's people are just waiting for that to happen.
You know, it's weird.
Bye.
Like, anytime that you come onto the scene and you're like moderately popular, or maybe you're successful, there's gonna be some son of a bitch out there that's like looking at you and it's like entering their crosshairs. They want to take you down just because you're there. I'll tell you one person that I am honestly very surprised they stood the test of time, and that's Darkside Phil. I'm not sure if you know who Darkside Phil is.
Sounds a little familiar.
They were a streamer from way back in the day before we had all these services now that can do that, because they had something called a capture card, and most people couldn't afford one. But they had the foresight to buy a capture card. It's just that they never really struck me as somebody that had a particularly good personality. And I guess you don't need that if you're playing a game and people enjoy the game that they're watching. But in his case, like, at least I try to be funny when I live stream a game. He just spews hatred and bullshit. Just not a very pleasant person. I'm surprised they were as successful as they were, but they're getting pretty close to the end of their rope, it feels like. You know? Like, they've been the butt of jokes on the internet for, like, years now. And I will say this, like, they're surprisingly looking pretty healthy considering everything they've been through. Like, they lost a lot of weight. They seem to be taking care of themselves. Like, God bless them. But it's surprising to me. Like, some people, popularity will come to you because you happen to do that one thing that gets you noticed by the crowd. But that's obviously a fleeting notion because unless you're constantly developing and building yourself up, it's not going to last for very long. You know?
Yeah.
So how do you sustain that?
By absorbing the souls of others.
Oh, so is this where like
Actually, you're half right about that, Artasha.
yeah,
The
so
blood
You
of the
just put,
innocent.
you put your tendrils deep enough into other people that are higher on the popularity chain than you, and yeah, you basically just leech off them.
You can ride that wave, yo.
so is this where the puppy
Well, they'll
Holocaust
pick you up.
comes
They'll
in?
build you up. If you're in the good old boys club or if you're in the cool kids club, they'll literally bolster you. They'll lift
Yep.
you up and you'll ascend. Kind of like what like PewDiePie did to like Jacksepticeye.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Jacksepticeye was like, "Hey, I do YouTube." PewDiePie was like, "Hey, I'll make you famous."
Yeah. It's funny how that works, huh? It's like the internet god tapping you on the shoulder.
Oh, not just yeah, it's all over the like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really have anyone bolster me up. I'm just building my own anthill over here at this rate.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Tasha, you know
I'm
I
digging
got
my
you.
own foxhole. Are you kidding? I just
Whoa.
stay underground
You know
and
I
away
got
from
you back,
everything.
man.
I'm making a minefield.
Oh, fuck, I don't know what.
And
this
it's
is.
not a minefield like landmines. No, it's a mime field.
Oh,
It's
shit.
field mimes.
Damn,
That's
kinda
creepy.
actually.
Yeah.
Powerful, dude. Like I don't put scarecrows in my farm fields to keep the crows away. I put fucking mimes.
That's very creepy.
I think that will keep anything away at this
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep me away. They're gonna get hungry eventually, and I don't know what a mime eats.
If only they could tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not going to be able to
they
tell him.
eat other mimes. That's why you only ever see one or two of them in the same place at the same time.
That makes sense. That answers a lot of questions too.
Yeah. I mean,
they
I can't argue with that
repopulate?
logic. What's up, Larkstacia?
How do they repopulate? I mean,
It's kind of like the Luigi stare. If they stare at somebody long enough, that person's going to turn into a mime. Eventually.
That's
Mhm.
pretty powerful, yo.
Yeah. That's why you don't want to make direct eye contact for more than that 5 seconds. You know.
I always felt like a siphoning whenever I would stare at one, and I'm like, I don't think I need to do this for longer than 5 seconds at a time. Now I know why.
Yeah, they're stealing your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, slowly.
It's like a Dyson vacuum.
Mhm.
We're getting pretty close to the end of our rope for tonight, but next time we're definitely going to. I just want to raise some things I forgot to mention earlier. Do you remember the whole Christian thing I was telling you about?
Oh, how
Yeah.
could
Yup.
we?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So that video game I mentioned, somebody actually took the time to like adapt Earthbound, but they replaced everything with like Christian. So
Oh no.
yeah, and there's only a few locations you can actually go to. But what I loved about it was I was playing it in front of my friend, and my friend just looked over my shoulder and he's like, "Dude, that house is way too clean to be Christian's." Okay, like
Oh my god.
like
Poor
that is not accurate at all to like Christian's house. Okay, that state of being is anyway. The game's surreal because it's got a system where you have mental health. Your mental health will go down as you interact with your imaginary friends. They're just walking around your room for obvious reasons.
I see.
Yeah. And if you want to fight something, the only things that you can fight inside the house are like cockroaches and mice.
Mm-mm.
And the sad part is, usually I ended up dying to both. Like,
Well,
yeah. Like, the mouse has like a secret move called rabies. And it'll just
Oh, no.
it'll just have this description that's like, the mouse starts foaming at the mouth. And then if you don't kill it within that turn, it'll just attack you. And then your HP will immediately go to 0. And
shit.
what's funny about that is like Christian will like spin around and be like, "No!" And I think that was actually the audio recording of him yelling that at his local mall. He yelled no and got yelled at by security for it. And what's even better is like they actually took audio from like their conversation with Bob. So if you try to talk to your father, he'll just be like, "Hello," like he's not all there. And yeah, and if you try to interact with your mom's just like sleeping, and she just makes a Snorlax sound from like Pokemon Red.
Hell yeah, yo, you bust out that fucking pokey flute.
No.
Be like, boo-doo-doo.
So what you can do is like you can apparently have fucking relations with your sex doll, Officer Nasty.
Oh no.
She'll talk to you. Yeah.
Yo, shit, yo, I wish I was a big old dommy mommy fucking robot would just like boot down my fucking door and carry me off to the mountains and be like, I need your soul essence to recharge.
Jesus Christ, Cyber.
Cyber, I've traveled many miles. I'll be like, oh no.
Oh Jesus. No, what I was gonna say was like you can go to other locations. So like one of the locations you can go to the local McDonald's. And for some reason, Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes is just hanging out there. And if you try talking to him, Christian will just whine to him about how it's like, and that's why I always felt like if I fulfill my love quest, I'll actually... And that's actually real audio of like Christian talking. It's like, if I fulfill my love quest, I'll finally have true happiness. And Travis is just like, you know what? People deal with grief in a lot of different ways. Me, I cut off people's heads.
Lit.
And if you keep talking to him, he'll just be like, would you just shut up already? And you have the option of like ordering food from the establishment. So there's 2 servers, one's African American, one's white. And if I try to go to the African American server, and Christian's just like, I'm not very comfortable ordering from him. I'm like, oof.
Is this a game?
Yeah.
Or is this like...
Yeah, no, this
is
is
a
an
real
actual...
ass game someone made?
Yeah, like somebody made it.
My God.
And you go to the white guy, and the white guy just looks like a stereotypical like 90s like McDonald's server, and he'll like serve you up his stuff. And you try to attract like a mate to you, so you hold up your attraction sign, and the 2 women in the store just look at you, and then they leave. And then the manager comes over, and it's like, excuse me, sir, you're gonna have to take down your sign. And if you argue with him, then he calls the cops. And as he's walking away, Christian just puts the sign away. And the cops come over, and it's like, hey, where's that sign? And I actually got like into a fight with them, like 2 police officers and a manager. Needless to say, I did not win that fight. I tried to make a run for it, and Chris fought valiantly. I will say that, like as a RPG character, he fought pretty well for, who he is. But they pulled a move called "Kick the Autist," and I got beaten down in the dirt. It was pretty bad. So.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no!
Like, I didn't really remember that until now. Like, just that bizarre game I was playing about Christian's life. It was actually pretty wholesome for Chris. I mean, apart from the more controversial stuff I mentioned to you.
Well, I mean, he needs a lawyer now, so he can probably see if he can get, money for rights for that game, Definitely need it.
Yeah, you know what? He's going to need a lot of support. See, the problem is Christian's kind of fucked himself over because from this point onwards, a lot of people were saying that Chris Vangelion is over, and I don't think it's over. Hey, this is the beginning of a new saga. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the incest saga.
No, the Felon saga.
Oh, the felon. Okay, well.
Oh no!
The incest saga was very short-lived for like a month and a half, maybe. If Christian's word can
okay.
be
So
believed.
it wasn't a saga as much as like just an overture.
Yeah. That's
All right.
probably more accurate to say, but they've been doing it for a month, like from their words, not anyone else's. Yeah. Like, Maxwell, what you said before about like your faith in humanity depleting, I feel that in spades. And partly why I'm so desensitized, I can laugh and joke around about it now, but I've seen a lot of shit, and not a lot of it was good,
Dude, I've been desensitized fully. There's very little that even phases me anymore.
Yeah, well...
There's still 2 things in this world that literally piss me off than anything else. Ignorance and inefficiency.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're just like looking at the Washington State building and your expression is like turning into like I'm serious face. Like we can't even see your eyes at that point because there's like a sun glare like coming down, and you're just like your brows are shadowing over it. You're just done.
No, it's like the anime glasses thing where the glasses are like opaque white, you know?
Oh no.
Like, we fix this? No? Okay.
Damn.
Boop,
Um
boop, boop,
other than all that, like I guess I'll end this like live stream just saying about like ILJ. And the TLDR I'll say about her is that what's crazy is she was like a white supremacist, but her two biggest like lackeys were a guy from Nigeria and an Indonesian fellow. And there was mention of her like lacing somebody's food and drink with estrogen. Yeah, like a guy,
I see.
like over the course of months, because
Jesus Christ.
she wanted a fully loyal boy toy. Is the only way I could like describe that. And she just
But
kind
she
of
wouldn't have ended up with a boy then. She would have
She's a
ended up
criminal
with a girl.
mastermind.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, well, she wrote like a sort of like what would you call that, a manifesto years ago about the truth, and
Oh no.
she seemed to be trying to at least like be convinced of the good in the world, but it was a very nihilistic portrayal of that. So
Okay.
yeah. I'll spare you guys the details of some of her more
Please do.
disgusting habits. But the thing that pissed me off royally about her was that she was killing hamsters left and right. And I don't know about you guys. Like I've watched Hamtaro. Okay, I've been touched. These are fluffy, innocent creatures that do not deserve that sort of thing.
No.
So
They do not.
let us
Definitely not.
prevent the hamster holocaust.
Yes.
Yeah, she boiled one alive, and well, she actually boiled 8 alive, and somebody in the chat, all they said was like, "Swim, fucker, swim," and
What the fuck?
it's being
That-
Is
live
this on
streamed.
is this on live? Like, how do you even live stream that without it getting
It would
flagged?
be like if I live streamed my video feed or like my webcam through like Discord. It'd be no different.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find the video because I see a bunch of screen caps, but I don't see like a video. And
Did
like
she ever get like jailed or any time or jail
No.
time for it or anything?
no, and you know what's even crazier is that like during the early months that she actually went to the school, there was a news story that I found where like a guy found a hamster like in the freezing cold temperatures just left out in its cage, and he's just like, what the fuck, this doesn't belong here. It was in a dumpster, and he saved it. And I'm like, that seems very suspicious. Like, you go to this school, a couple months later that happens, in the early days. That can't be a coincidence. Same school, same attendance period that you overlap, same. I don't know why she has it. Like, see, you know what serial killers do, right? They start torturing small animals and then they move on to humans later.
Mm-hmm. Not always, but generally, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but still, the connotations are there. Like, you can't really. That's not normal behavior. Jokes
No.
aside, I'll just go ahead and be hiding these dead puppies in my closet here.
Oh no.
I kid.
The
But-
end is near.
Nah. I love dogs. I love them in that teriyaki sauce.
My God.
To be fair, like, I heard my father reminded me of this, but like he talked to me about how he's disgusted by some aspects of Korean cuisine, and they're still eating dogs like occasionally. Like, it's not like it's obviously not something that's popular like in your face, but some people do like the taste of dog for some reason. So there's dog farms instead of like pig farms. It's dogs. I don't know.
People be wild and
I asked my mother what she thought
That's
of
their
Japan.
culture, I guess.
Yeah. I asked my mom what she thought of Japan, and the way she described it to me, she seemed to treat it like it was like a penal colony in its like earliest days. Like, oh, Japan? Only bad people go there. No good people go there. Only bad people. You know how like a king would like, exile you to some far off land? That's how she treated it. I tried looking into it. I did not see any like historical evidence of that. But the fact that she said it in that way, I will forever think of Japan. It's like, oh, only bad people go to Japan. No good people. So
Oh no.
I better not catch either three of you like going to Japan anytime soon. Okay.
I want to go to Japan though.
Then that will just secure your place as a bad person.
No. But the reason why is actually a good reason.
Okay.
First of all, I want to sleep in a capsule. And I want to see a panty vending machine.
It does exist. I saw it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And there are cigarette and beer vending machines on every corner.
Yes, that
Day
too.
drinking over there is like encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well,
on that outrageous note, I would just like to cordially thank all three of you for joining me on this. Well, I was about to say wondrous night, but I know it was full of cringe and questionable things. But we can at least appreciate the humor that was so graciously injected by Cyberpimp and everybody involved,
Dab.
at the right moment. So, I don't know, like any closing thoughts that you guys would like to share before we end things for the night?
it's been a wonderful time being a part of this. Definitely look forward to future endeavors as they come. Always a pleasure to be able to have just a nice spot to talk about these kind of things. Kind of bring a spin of reality, a mixture of sarcasm, dusted off with a fine powder of angst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure you had a lot of
Hell yeah.
angst when I was talking about Christian.
Oh no.
It's all right. Hey, next time we're going to do this in VR chat. We'll figure it out ahead of time and
Indeed.
push it off a couple weeks from now. Let some topics of interest come up, maybe form a little list of things we want to talk about. So maybe this will be a good opportunity for you guys to think about what you'd like to talk about next time. And, it'll be a next phase of the Dead First meet.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. And then when I dab, I could dab in real time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Totally.
Which is arguably worse.
Nani?
That just reminds me when Ors dabs whenever he does something.
Yeah,
Like,
I got oars hooked on dabbing.
so we have
No.
you to thank.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone's got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Wee-wee.
I guess we'll focus on. Well, we'll obviously have drama always, like as sort of like a core category, but we'll talk more about furry topics of interest because I got some other stuff to say. Just that I don't want to keep you guys up all night. So, dear audience, I do appreciate you guys sticking with us throughout all this. I'll try to download the footage and take out the highlights, the funny moments and stuff. But other than that, thank you for sticking by us, listening to everything that we had to say. And thanks to you guys for coming here to be part of this, Always wanted to start my own podcast.
Hell yeah, and you know what I always say. Remember, kids, stay in school, don't do drugs, and always listen to your grandparents.
Max,
Um,
before we end things,
I'm just a fox.
the one thing I wanted to say
What
is
does
like
the fox say?
I'm convinced that Cyberpimp is going to be like when like the U.S. collapses and we're all basically Mad Max land. Yeah, I could see Cyberpimp being like the local warlord of his domain. Just been like,
When that happens, not if, I will be Cyberpimp's pet.
okay,
Oh my.
well,
Hoy. Hey,
so
Gorsh.
and like he'll rally like the local like raiders to his side, and it's like people have to pay a toll to pass through the territory.
And there'll be a rule after 4:30, no pants. That's the rule. No matter where you are, 4:30 p.m. hits, pants are off.
And people have to
So you better be indoors.
They have to offer you like weed and things. It's like I want that fucking African Kush, maybe that like purple haze, but the grass ain't good.
I need that Florida man Kush.
Oh my god.
One hit and you're just on the police, like you're on the police scanner. One hit, you're just every wild and.
Pretty sure that's gonna knock you flat on your ass, but all right. With that outrageous revelation out of the way, good night, everyone, and thank you for joining the Dead First Meet.
Dab.